Well, what up, Iron Halo family and friends? We are featuring the final round of the Dallas Open, and it's going to be an awesome matchup. We have Andrew Ford, who was streamed last game, as well as Nick Rose, who is playing his Genestealer cult. So I think this is going to be a great game. We have our shoutcaster, Stephen Heidmeyer, who was shoutcasting last game, and new guy, Mike McKenney, who is the head judge at the Iron Halo GT, here with us. Both of you guys say hi.
You're up first, Steven.
What's up? Dallas.
Hello from my recliner in Arkansas.
Yeah, what do you guys do? Where are you guys sitting right now?
I'm in Fort Smith and just kind of at home at the moment.
At home? Nice. Nice. Just taking it easy. Petting the cat, I'm assuming?
Petting one of the four.
One of the four cats.
Man, that's a big cat reunion here. Mine's sleeping in the chair next to me.
That's pretty awesome. So just want to give you guys a little bit of background. They just officially started the round and pairings. The cool thing is these two players, while they haven't played before, they both know each other really well. And before the round even started, just we're discussing, you know, what actions are going to happen, you know, relics and things like that to make the game pretty streamlined. So I was pretty happy. It looks like the gamesmanship and sportsmanship is going to be pretty cool. I expect the banter to be extremely high. Super excited about that. But guys, why don't you go through the list real quick and give me your thoughts on the game. Steven, why don't you go first?
Yes, so I'll go over Andrew's list and know it better. Obviously, anyone that was watching last round of the stream, we got to see Andrew play against some heavy orc horde, had about 175 models in it. Andrew's list did very well against it. He's running Housecraft on his 3 knights. So he's running a Gallant, a Castellan with a standard build, and he's running a Crusader with the Venture Gatling Cannon and the heavy Battle Cannon. So Housecraft allows him to charge with his knights, reroll hits when he's charged, makes a charge, or heroically intervenes. A lot of people like to point out that if they charge a Titanic unit, they get to reroll all failed hits, not just ones. I think it's ones otherwise. Or no, it's always. So if you're against a knight and you didn't charge that phase, you're still rerolling. However, with like a Gallant or any other knight, you know, they can just walk away from combat, charge it back in. So the Titanic rule, you know, it's hit or miss whether you're actually ever going to use it. So again, the Castellan set up with Call's Wrath, Iron Bulwark. Other than that, he's supporting the triple knight attachment with some Imperial Guard. He's got a Wyvern, a tank commander. He's got a group of 30 conscripts, 2 10-man squads, and some characters. Other than that, you want to talk about the Genestealer cult list, Ernie?
Well, one thing to point out that you glossed over is the tank commander is a Punisher commander.
Okay, yeah, you're correct on that. I think last game we were just acting like it was a battle cannon, and that would be apparent why he was wounded like 18 times with it. So, one thing that Andrew is really looking forward to here and trying to do is he says he's not afraid of horde lists. He's looking to get all 3 knights in, not just the Gallant, into close combat. Use those stomps, reroll to hit, and really do a lot of wins in close combat with those 3 knights.
Yeah, I do really like the Crast choice. If you do face against other super heavies, the Crast relic is really good. So you could start the game, use the strat to pick up that relic instead of he probably runs the Endless Fury most of the time. But if you see an enemy super heavy, you just put on the Headsman's Mark on, say, the Crusader or the Castellan, whichever one you want, and they do extra. All their weapons do extra damage to big things.
Yep, so the helmet actually against any vehicle, I think it might also be monster, might just be vehicle, is 1 extra damage from any sorts of weapon. Against Titanic, it's 2 extra damage. So all of a sudden, your Avenger Gatling Cannon is doing 3 damage a shot if those
Yeah,
wounds go.
I've used it before. It's funny when your heavy stubbers are dealing 3 damage.
Oh yeah, absolutely insane. That there's a lot of thought that if the Castellan gets nerfed, the House Crast with the Crusader with the Relic will kind of be the go. And it kind of already is, right? Especially if you're taking a Crusader and a Castellan.
No, it's all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have the GSC list, so I'm waiting for Jason to go over exactly what's in that.
Oh, cool. So, let me actually share a copy with you, Mike, real quick. I have not really dabbled in GSC. I do have an army. I got it from one of my friends who's trying to get out of Genestealer cult. But there you go, Mike. Send it to you.
Yeah, I got it. All right, so we've got a Genestealer cult brigade that is a good 5/8 of his army, 1259 points. His creed is the Bladed Cog, which for anyone in the chat, Jason and I have a little experience. Like I've played 2 games against them since their codex. So we're just kind of muddling through.
Let me look that up real quick. I do have the book handy. Just give me a second.
You need to do more grinding,
Okay.
When's the fight?
Oh, got some
Yeah,
audio in the background.
One other thing to note on Andrew's list, a lot of people in the chat have been talking about House Terran and how great that is for melee, getting the extra d6, take the 2 highest on advanced charge rolls. One thing that players are still picking up from the House Crast is that it is Mechanicus, so they get to use that 1 command point to have any of your knights act as full profile for the turn. And that can be pretty huge, especially as the game winds down.
The act as top shelf for 1 CP on a knight is such a bargain.
Yeah, there's been so many games where I've gotten someone's knight down to 1 to 3 wounds, and you're like, finally, and then up 1 command point back to normal, right? And a full stat line knight is just, can change the game when you're down to turn 4 or 5, when there's not much left on the.
I like using Terran for a single Gallant.
Yeah.
I'll use a Gallant and like 2 Helverins in a soup list, and I'll make them Terrans so that the Gallant can sally forth, which is Imperial side only. And then when he comes in with Landstrider and the Terran trait, he has about an 80% charge without spending a CP reroll. And then you blow the fight twice as well. So that can be threatening. But if I was running a full set of knights like Andrew is, I think Crast I would probably prefer.
Crast has the nice option, again, we talked about the Relic, it can bolster your shooting, and the dice variance when you're rerolling hits is just you're going to hit almost everything. So then you're just leaving the variance down to the wounds. Especially sometimes if someone's...
I lost a game at March Madness this year when my Gallant charged in against an enemy knight and whiffed every single fist attack, and got punched back for 18 from just
that's brutal. I mean, we all know the dice variance will get you. So
yeah, I wish I was Crast on that instance.
Yeah, there's a lot of lists out there where the army is that are built around those reroll to hits, reroll to wins, take that variance out of the game.
So, not to ruin the Imperium party, but we also got a Genestealer cult player that we do have to talk about. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I did look it up. Bladed Cog. All models with this cult creed have a 6-up invulnerable save, and if they already have an invulnerable, it increases it by 1 to a maximum of 3. In addition, infantry models with this cult creed do not suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for moving and for shooting. So that, I think that's gonna be pretty powerful for their for Nick's army.
All right. Well, I'll finish reading off his list then. So he's got an Acolyte Icon Ward, a Magus, a Jackal Alphys, and a Primus with a Bone Sword as his HQ choices for that brigade. His troops is a whole bunch of squads of Neophyte hybrids. Looks like 4 of them. He grabbed 2 mining lasers per unit, and then the last 2 is just the naked guys. Then in his elites, he's got the Clamavus, the Kellermorph, which is that character assassinating pistolero dude, and then the Sanctus with the silencer sniper rifle. And then in his fast attack, we have some Achilles Ridge Runners, heavy mine laser, flare launcher, double heavy stubber. Looks like 2 of them. And then Cult Armored Sentinel, one multi-laser armored sentinel, and then another multi-laser armored sentinel for some cheap fast attacks. And we got his heavy supports. They got a triple mortar team. Now I gotta switch pages. Another 3 triple mortar teams, 3 times 3 mortars. And then we get down to a battalion detachment where he has a patriarch. Oh, it's a mixed detachment, so they won't get any chapter tactic. However, he did make to note that his patriarch is bladed cog, might matter for some stratagem targeting him. Then we've got Magus, Brood Brothers infantry squad, so 20 dudes, infantry squad with 10 dudes, and then infantry squad with looks like 16 dudes. And then fast attack, we got some 5 Talon Jackals with demo charges and shotguns, and then another 5 also with demo charges and shotguns. And then lastly, we have the Astra Militarum detachment that has company commander, primary psyker, an infantry squad, and I think that's the last page you sent me.
Yeah, it's actually looks like 3 infantry squads. So just kind of on the outside looking in, because again, I have not played any games with my Genestealer cult, but I have definitely read a lot of the rules. What I like to see is the Alaton Jackals, the bikes. They all have demo charges, which is pretty nasty. I know you can spend 1 command point to throw all your grenades, and demo charges are grenades.
Yep.
I really, really think that's going to be pretty powerful. In addition, he's got 9 mortar squads. Ooh. I mean, I think that's going to be really, really effective against the conscripts, not necessarily the knights in general.
Yeah, I think depending on who goes first with those mortars, the Wyvern might want to kill Nick's mortars first if Andrew goes first. That way the mortars won't kill his screen out real quick.
Right.
However, if Andrew goes second, then the mortars might just do their job and he might just leave them because after that point, damage is done.
Correct. Yeah. What's really cool is if you look up through the list in the bladed cog detachment, everybody, there's 2 mining lasers. No.
Yeah, 4 of those neophyte squads have 2 mine lasers apiece.
So that's really handy with the bladed cog. They don't suffer any penalties for moving and shooting.
Yep,
So-
that does seem handy.
I think it'll be interesting to see here what the Genestealer cult strategy is. You know, whether I think the secondaries will be pretty telling, but whether they're going to try to just score objectives through board control or whether they're really going to come after these knights here and try to knock them out. As we saw the orc player trying to do, picking the Titan Slayer and the King Slayer on one of the knights.
With that said, I'm going to go grab those.
With the Genestealer cults, they've got like 2 different stratagems where they can basically end up out of deep strike, super close to you.
Right.
I think he's probably going to prioritize at least murdering. I would say the Crusader is probably his biggest annoyance.
So I think, last game, I'm not sure if you were able to watch, the Kingslayer was selected on the Gallant, and Andrew did a really good job of keeping the Gallant away from his opponent. So we'll have to see how Andrew's positioning goes out throughout the game and what the objectives are, what he's going after night-wise. I think Vanguard kind of favors Andrew's list here. The Genestealer cult are going to be able to come in whenever they want to, but being that he's in such a castled corner, even if he loses one model, the other ones will be able to, in return, quickly go over there and kill the Genestealers.
Are you gonna make aliens?
Yep. Like I said, I think their overall strategies may change based on who gets first turn. All their target priority is probably going to shift. They probably both have a different battle plan for whether they're going first or second. As for secondaries, I'm fairly certain that if I was Andrew, I'd probably snag Reaper and Headhunter at least. Those seem like two easy 4-point ones.
All right. Well, I have just updated the missions real quick. And as a shocker, Andrew has chosen the exact same missions as he chose last game.
I'm on.
Okay. So he's got engineering, he's got Reaper, and he's got Butcher's Bill, right?
Yep, the exact same. And then Nick has chosen behind enemy lines, Titan Slayer, and Recon.
I see Andrew is not confident about killing 4 characters, I guess.
Well, I think the problem with that mission is, your opponent, if you select that and your opponent knows you're trying to get it, you can typically do a good job until late game of keeping those characters safe, especially against some knights that might have trouble moving around.
Right. At the same time, like some of the Genestealer characters,
Yeah, they've got to get
like
in there.
the Keller morph. Yeah, they have to hop into you to do their work. And so the couple times I've played GSC, I've just picked Headhunter, and I don't even look for the characters. Just by the end of the game, I look around like, oh, I've already killed 4.
Okay, guys, and that is turn 1. Andrew on the roll-off to go first.
Wow.
And it's going to be very interesting.
I'm wondering how close to the last game this is going to be. Andrew has said to me several times he's really comfortable playing against horde lists. I think Genestealer or Cole will have an easier time moving around the board than Orcs did, especially on Hammer and Anvil. But this will be an interesting matchup, especially Andrew getting first turn.
Yeah, I think his general strategy having first turn should probably be to try, and I'm not sure where the Wyvern is. I think it's back behind the ruins.
Correct.
But
it is. Let me draw it for you. I got the little Telecaster John Madden style. It's actually right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. He's moving it out a little bit, so he actually made it's not even within range though.
Yeah, those mortars real far back. I'm not sure if the Wyvern.
Some of them don't even look like they're on the table back there. Maybe my stream has been.
Continue, guys. Sorry.
My stream might be behind. Let me.
Yeah, and of course we also have the Genestealer cult shenanigans going on, where we don't even know where half of Nick's stuff is.
That's correct. We have the blips on the board.
Yeah, have they finished deploying here? Because
yes, it's actually turn 1.
it looks like half the mortars are off the table and the bikes are just kind of sitting there.
The cool thing with Genestealer Cult is that excuse me, they don't have to deploy their entire army. More than likely, they just deploy these blips on the board, which makes them super mobile. So basically, in the bottom of Nick's turn, he can choose what units to deploy where based on where those blips are. I think within 3 inches or so.
Yeah, it's basically it's almost like null deployment with drop pods from the previous edition. Like your deployment isn't until your first turn for him.
Like the mortar base, I think, roughly. Okay. Smaller than the mortar base. Okay. The Centurion.
Or I suppose in this case it's actually Andrew's shooting phase. But Andrew has to move around not knowing where a bunch of that stuff is, and then start of the shooting phase he finally gets to find out where it is.
That's blocked out. Okay. So those could be mortars. Correct.
It's a funny thing, you just mentioned that, right, Steven?
And this could be a mortar.
Correct.
What's
Do
that?
you have the ability to move any of them before you reveal them?
One CP, I can remove 3 of them. Move
When?
them around. Before I move an emo. Before I reveal an emo.
Do you have to do
What's
it
that,
before
Jason?
my turn?
No.
That we were
But
just
then in the
discussing
movement phase,
the mortars,
I can
and
start
Andrew
revealing
had
them.
the same
I have to
question.
use that stratagem before I reveal them.
Oh, about how they're not even on the table.
Correct.
Well, you're strapped for command points.
Yeah.
So
I unfortunately, there's not many Genestealer cult players in our local meta, so I actually haven't even played against them since the Codex. So some of this is a little new to me here, which is probably why I'm more favorably speaking about the Imperial Codex or the Imperial Army because I know more.
Well, we know how they play. Do their last
Yeah,
stream.
we know their general strategy.
all right.
I predict we'll see a lot of shenanigans this game.
Yeah, the scary thing I was telling Steven when you're busy, the stratagems from GSC where they can
Do I
just
wanna
show
move
up
these guys?
like right next to you instead of the 9 inches away. There's like 2 different ones. One you can just show up but can't charge, but people use that to like show up and toss demo charge or hit you with hand flamers. Not that
No,
Nick
I
has
don't.
any. And then there's the other where you can just show up and move
Not
like
yet.
a D6 closer to them, like
Okay.
almost like a Calibus assassin.
I reveal?
Reveal.
All right, here we go. Genestealer Cult's revealing all the units. See what they do.
Are you married, Nick?
Yes, I am.
How many kids?
0. We're talking about them right now.
Oh, that's fun.
Only been married for 4 years.
Okay.
Working on it though.
Hey, Nick, you can have 2 of my kids.
Huh?
You can have 2 of my kids.
No thanks. I'm good.
Sure. I think he's willing to give you 2 of his kids.
Cool.
All right, there we go.
We already have the banter back and forth.
They're here talking about kids, but here I just told
I'm
you
going to spend a
yesterday
CP to
that my
pick up
wife
3.
just revealed to
Okay.
me
So I'll be
the
at
2
19.
stripes.
I'll do them later here. I don't have to pick them up now. I don't think I'm going to move any though.
All right.
So, all right, we'll start revealing these now.
Oh, guess what? Here they are.
Yeah.
She revealed to you what?
He revealed
The 2 stripes, as in the positive test.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was a little, I haven't I've gone through that, so I was. Oh, congratulations, man.
3,
Hey.
2. I'm missing a mortar squad. Here it is. I'm not missing a mortar squad. I just don't know what I'm doing.
Was that one of the blips?
Yeah, there's 3 blips here.
Okay. That's a lot of blips.
Yeah. Sanctus is going to come up here.
Okay. What's the range on his weapon?
36.
Okay.
Gets to have a free shot. We're going to fire at the conscript. He hits. He wounds 1, AP -1.
Guy dies.
Oh, look at that.
He didn't have the powers on his list, but I'm assuming that his, I guess the Patriarch
Was there
or
a
the
blip over
Magus,
there?
I'm
Yep.
not even sure
Oh,
if the Magus
okay.
can take it. But I know he's probably taking that crazy psychic power on one of them that you can end up like half murdering a knight with a compared leadership test.
I would assume that's on the Primus.
Yeah,
So it can get pretty
Genestealers
close.
have always had some surprisingly powerful psychic powers that a
Such
lot
an
of
annoying army
people,
to play against.
don't necessarily always account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beagles can
even
go up
before the
here.
Codex, they had the mind control
they?
thing
They
that
did-
they
oh,
could do
flyers
to enemy
can't.
knights.
Mm-hmm.
Flyers
Just
will die.
have your
No, they
Crusader
can't,
or
or- no, I
Castellan
thought
murder
flyers
something
could.
else in your army.
What's the rule on these cigarettes?
Yeah, that
Uh,
was even strong in 7th edition. I mean, that.
I think only infantry can go up them.
Okay,
They count as walls, whatever.
gotcha. No really way for me to hide if I need to, so.
What are those armed with?
Multi lasers.
Okay.
They're armored. They're armored sentinels. So.
Okay.
Okay, so really liking this Genestealer Cult strategy right now. It is pretty
Do you
cool
like
for
those
the
Ridge
blips.
Runners?
Very
Not
impressive.
really.
I bought
Hey,
a couple.
because
and also, if you're just joining us now, this is the final round of the Dallas Open GT. We've got Andrew Ford with his Imperium list, Nick with his Genestealer cult list. You can see the secondary missions. Andrew chose Reaper, Engineers, and Butcher's Bill. Nick chose Behind Enemy Lines, Titan Slayer, and Recon. Shoutcasters here, myself, Jason Horn, Mike McKenney, and Stephen Heitmeyer, both with the Iron Halo.
Well, we've got a surprise visit from Bilbo Baggins' grandpa, and he says the Genestealer cult are going to win it.
That's pretty hilarious.
I mentioned my prediction to you both before the stream, but for the chat, looking at the pairings and placements right now, the players on table 2, I believe, are Eldar and Thousand Suns, and they're only like 3 battle points behind the players on table 1. So my prediction is that the Eldar will win their game with more points than either Nick or Andrew, and will sneak in for the first place.
Yeah, now, as far as this general game right here goes, I'm actually going to, last game I favored the Orc player. I'm going to go ahead and favor Andrew's prowess in this game on this table here and say he's going to pull this one.
As for this game, I think I will go for... I think Nick will actually win this, looking at what he has and what knowing a little bit of Genestealer cult that I do.
Okay. And he's going to put the rockets into there.
All right.
Wow, we already have a... So if you're just joining the channel, we have a poll up, and currently we have a couple votes. We have 83% in favor of Genestealer cult winning versus 17% for AM and Knights. So, interesting. Can't wait to see what this lines up. We have a lot of 40K to play, but... And we already have seen Andrew's strategy unfold.
Two. Okay. I guess I'll see your rolls. I don't have to call it out yet. Doing if I'm doing +1 save or not. Because I go to a 3-up, we go to a 5-up.
I think you have to do it when you're targeted.
Yeah, I'll spend the 1 CP.
And that puts you to
18.
Okay.
So I'll have a 3-up save.
Not invulnerable.
No. No, not at all. I wish.
That many hits. That many wounds.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at -2.
8, so I'll have 5-ups. So I'll go to 3 to 5-up. How much damage are these?
D3.
D3, roll them. Because I have a 6-up Feel No Pain.
All right.
Standing on his tippy toes.
3.
Dies, that's 1.
2.
Dies.
2.
Dies. That's 3.
1.
Saves, so that's 2 alive.
3.
He's gonna die.
2.
That the last one?
Nope.
Because that's 3, 6.
That's 6. I've got 2 more.
I made 2 saves. I made 1 save normal, and then 1 Feel No Pain so far. So that's 8.
Okay, then that's 8.
Okay. So I lost 6.
Okay, and then Endless Fury.
Yep.
Rerolling 1s because that's his trait, and I only get 1/1. Yay. That many hits. How many 6s? 3 6s.
2's the moon.
2s. All right, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 13 at -2.
10, 13, looking for 5s. I think I just lose the whole unit here. Maybe not.
They're dead.
Well, I've got Feel No Pain.
Oh, you're right.
So here's
2 each.
6. So I'm just going to roll these. If I get another 6, I'll roll it. So 1, do I get another 1? No, so 6 dice. So they're all dead.
Okay, that was
And the stubbers are
a
wasted.
really interesting first turn for both players. We're actually at the top of turn 2, believe it or not.
That guy's putting Call's Wrath. He's putting the Volcano Lance and the missiles into him.
Okay.
And he's putting Call's Wrath and the Top Gun into them.
Okay.
So Volcano Lance. 3 shots. 2 hits.
Bilbo Baggins, you must be a friend of Nick Rose.
Do I
that's
wanna
pretty
reroll one of
funny.
those?
Fast dice.
Yes, I'll spend a command point to reroll that. Wound. -5.
Yes, I
I have a
can,
7
runner.
save
Just
then,
give
so
me
no.
a second.
And he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. Does he blow up? I don't think it matters.
Make sure you bring it back.
All right. Call's Wrath and the Top Gun's down there. We've got 10 shots.
What's the range on Call's Wrath?
48. I measured 48 to them. That's where I moved. That's why I moved there.
48 though.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. Okay.
That's
It's
why.
close.
That's why I did it.
It's close.
You think Webb's not going to move up there, Willis?
That's fair.
All right.
Oh.
2, 4,
Are you
6,
overcharging?
8, 10. No.
Okay.
Wow. Only that many hits. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. 2
No,
each.
AP -3, right? So
8
no
minus
save.
4.
So no save. 2 each. Nothing. So 6.
6. Top Gun. 3, 4 shots. 2 hits. 1 wound, -1.
1 guy dies.
Is anybody in range of the Wyvern?
Shouldn't be. Did you move it?
Nope. Well, yes, I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did. I moved it, so I'm in range of them. What's over there?
You got the 10-man squad and a 4-man squad.
Right. I moved it up, so I'm to there. Yeah.
All
So I can
right,
shoot
runner.
them.
We've updated
All
the
right.
scores
Shoot the
2
4-man
to
squad.
1 in favor of Nick. Again,
need
not a lot
5, so-
happened.
Yeah.
Number
I
of
think
shots,
nothing died
4,
in that
5,
first
6, 7,
turn.
8, 10.
I think Nick got hold more. Yep, looks like it.
All right. How do you wound?
Rerolling wounds.
Reroll wounds.
2.
4 up saves. 2.
That's it.
All right. So you've killed. They do leadership. They lost 8. Their leadership. 9, 10, 11 right now. So 9, 10. So they don't lose any guys. They roll the lowest. They're fine.
Okay.
So you killed 2 units.
Yeah.
So
Kill
you got,
something, hold something.
Yep. And you have how many objectives right now? 2 or 1?
I'm sorry.
How many objectives do you have right now?
2.
Okay.
And that gives me a butcher's bill and an engineer.
You can't do engineers till turn 2.
Yes, you can in this packet.
Huh?
You can in this packet.
Where
He's different from the Nova packet.
it's not the Nova pack.
Yeah,
It's
he's
ITC.
different from the ITC packet. This tournament specifically does not have that.
Really?
Yep. Really.
Okay, that's odd.
Yep.
Might have picked that then. A little bit different.
So yeah, your turn.
All right.
Don't hurt me. I'm harmless.
So
Tell
these
him I'm
objective
harmless,
markers are,
we're gonna.
I believe they're Nick's. They're specifically
guy.
on this table, but they're definitely.
Actually, no, we're not gonna advance. There's no reason to advance.
I think you're on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely see what
These guys.
objectives
6 to 12.
are if you're within
Fast.
3 inches, which is really smart. So this is
They don't care,
actually
do they?
No.
bottom of turn 1. Excuse me, I apologize for that. I think what happened is when Nick started to deploy all of his Genestealer cult, I forgot that.
think it
I
was
thought
good
that
to go
happened
first,
in
just to
the
get a-
in turn or
Nick
bottom
on
of
ya.
turn 1, but it actually happens
Oh yeah, that does help.
in your
These
opponent's
guys
movement
advancing.
phase.
Another 8.
Again, noobs
You're all
at
about board
Genestealer
control,
cult.
aren't you?
Apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna move these.
Yeah,
guys
I was
back.
gonna mention that.
Okay.
I was like, if that's
back over
turn
here like
2, I
that.
missed part of turn 1.
I am about board control. I need the board control.
Yeah.
So runner for this tournament, yeah, engineers is you can start scoring in
Over
turn
here.
1. So special Dallas Open packet
These guys are gonna
rule,
advance.
and
9.
yeah, we'll just go with that.
Okay.
Yep, so we're seeing overall a much slower, more composed strategy here than last
I'm
game
dumb.
from the Genestealer Colt.
Okay.
He's kind of hiding his units back, waiting for that turn 2 pounce, so everything goes at the same time, rather than just sending in wave after wave.
So this is the center line. I want to make sure he's over here.
Okay.
So
You're reconning.
yeah.
Got it. Those things are fast, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
How fast do they go?
16.
That's
All right.
fast.
So they can both get there.
Okay. Uh-oh. Somebody's out of range.
So then we're gonna do this. We're gonna measure here like that.
That put you in range?
Yeah, should
Okay.
be. Yep.
Nope.
We'll move these guys a little bit more like that, and
All
then bring it
right.
out like that.
There you
then.
go. Okay.
And then this guy is going to.
Hey guys, if you're just joining us, this is the final round of the Dallas Open. We're pretty excited to be having this feature coverage of Andrew Ford versus Nick Rose, Imperium versus Genestealer Colt. I really feel like the Imperium are
I
going
was
to put down
surprised
the
in this pack that they
insurrection
didn't say second turn.
of the
Yeah, I
Genestealer
was
Colt that
surprised
is
'cause I'm used to that
spurred
in
on this
19 now.
planet.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what kind of threw me off. I just assumed.
Cordovajak,
assumptions wrong on
yes,
that?
go Imperials.
told
We
me
do
you don't
have
have to
a
read back,
Twitch
so-
poll going on right now. Vote for who you
Probably
think's going to
my
win,
fault.
Genestealer Colt or Admech and Knights. Shoutcasting with me today, I am Jason Horn of the Iron Halo with Mike McKinney, head judge of the Iron Halo, and Steven Hedmeyer, also
if there's
of
someone
the
there
Iron
or someone up
Halo.
here.
If you guys are in chat, let us know if you have any questions. We'll be awesome to answer them for you. Currently, it is the bottom of turn 1,
All these guardsmen there left.
and Nick has the bottom of the turn.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's just these two squads.
you guys, do you feel like that's an advantage or a
Yeah.
disadvantage with Genestealer Colt being in the bottom of the turn?
We'll do psychic phase. We're
I
gonna give them +1
actually
save.
like
Second
Genestealer
period
Colt's advantage
goes off at
going
9.
second. They not only screw with your
Then
first
uses the
shooting
card.
phase by not deploying guys where you think they're going to be because of the blit mechanic,
We're gonna
but
spend 2
he
CP,
wants a lot of
2
recon
summons.
and holding objectives in this game anyway.
Oh,
So
oh.
having the bottom of the turn, I think,
Pass.
is probably what he
We're
preferred.
summoning Kellamorph.
That's kind of very similar to how I play my
Yeah.
orcs. I don't really care if I prefer to go second. That way, you know, I
So we
deploy
have to be
defensive.
9
I
inches
expect to
away unless
go,
we wanna spend
you know,
some shot,
second, and I
has
don't
to be
care if
3
I
inches
weather the
away.
storm by eating a whole bunch of ludas or a whole bunch of grots with grot
Yeah.
shields. So,
If I do 3, I can just be right here.
Send the strat.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
Nick's
think
done a
so.
really good job here at really taking away the punishment that Andrew was wanting to do with turn 1
Yeah,
by his
this is the
deployment,
reason why I have
preventing
it.
some of that line of sight, some of that range. I think that Andrew, you know, kind of has to stay cagey until he sees where the Genestealer Colt's going to come in at. Once they come in, he's going to really need to speed up play and start killing a lot of models fast.
Yeah,
You
we're
can
gonna do
already
that.
see here the pace of this game is much
Yeah.
slower than the last, as they typically are with the final table. There's a lot more rules talking, a lot more, you know, is this an
let's do second
inch, is it a half
phase.
inch off, stuff like
So
that.
the
Everyone's
shooting
trying to make
phase,
sure their
we're gonna
opponent's,
tag the knight there for +1
you
to
know,
hit.
playing as a, you know, as a fair sport, and there's going to be just a lot more of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
contention throughout the
Then
game
I'm
as
gonna
it
do
typically
orders
is
for
with the final
moving and
table.
these
So
guys.
it's going to be really interesting to see the
So,
pace of this game and what turn they're going to get to,
So they're gonna
whether
go
these final turns are going to end up being rushed or split time at the end.
they are definitely playing on a chess clock. Let me see if I can get the time on that real quick for you guys. Who do you think is going to use up more time this game?
I definitely think Nick will, just because of the amount of movement, the amount of redeploying,
like
bringing
this,
in
really.
units. That alone is going to take a lot of time. Where Andrew's got 3 big knights.
we're popping smoke
Some of
too.
them throw out a lot of dice, but as far as moving and
then,
maneuvering,
we'll
it's
start
not going
doing
to take nearly as
shooting.
much time.
Um,
He's going to have to understand too that he's
plus
going to
one
want
hit
to
there,
get
so they're just gonna hit
to
on
turn
fours.
5 or 6 to have a chance of killing a lot of numbers. That's going to be advantageous for him. So we'll probably see him
We're
playing
gonna
like
go into
that here.
shooting one. So how
They
many
look
shots?
like-
Yeah,
So
his
we're
rolls,
firing
things
the heavy mine lasers there and the
My
stunners to the
couple
guardsmen.
games against
So
GSE
5
so
shots.
far, my
That's pretty
GSE
good.
opponent has
Yep.
almost always gone through their entire clock.
1 hit.
That was horrible.
Yeah, it happens.
Looks like Andrew just spent a command point to rotate iron
That
shield.
happens. 3, 6, 9, 12. This is in the conscripts.
Okay.
So hit wounding you on 3s. 3 wounds.
At minus.
No AP.
Saved.
All right.
Lose 1.
We won't be able to see the company commander there.
Right.
Actually, if I placed him there, I guess I could have seen him. Oh well. We're gonna fire all these shots in these guardsmen here.
I also think it will be interesting how
6.
fast
Oh,
he's
that's
gonna
not gonna
roll
be
these
happy.
mortar shots out. 9 squads of
All
mortars can
hit,
take a long
so
time.
6 more shots.
to enter.
So 10 hits, 3's the wound. 8 wounds. AP minus 1.
8, you said?
Yep. 8 dead.
Guys. That was bad.
Here's the shots from that Keller
That was a
morph.
bad way
That
to
guy
start.
is such a pain.
Jesse James strikes again, man.
Yeah, the mortars are gonna start going in the conscripts.
All right.
So first one 9, 11, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11.
Fear the Reaper. They all look completely like loyal Imperial citizens from up here. Yeah, I guess that's
10
fair.
on 4s.
I guess that's fair.
2 wounds so far.
Those of you
other
guys in
mortar
the
squad
chat,
doing
if
the
you
same thing.
played against
Fair enough.
Genestealer Cult, or you play Genestealer Cult, it is kind of the typical strategy that you would do, turn 1 that Nick Rose is doing. Let us know, and we will read your thoughts on the stream.
3, 7 wounds.
Lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Other 3rd mortar squad doing the same thing. 8, 9.
Okay.
Four wounds.
Save 3.
All right. Can't really help that if that keeps happening.
No, my gosh.
Sniper rifle Sanctus into there, into the conscripts. He hits. He causes
Hey, I'd like to
mortal
see
wound, an
whenever
AP
they
minus
do
1.
end turn 1 here.
D3 damage.
Let's
minus 1.
see if we can get
Another guy
a view
dies.
on the chest clock and what
That sniper
the
over there firing
times.
doing the same thing.
Which sniper's that?
That guy.
Oh, you've got 2 of them?
Yep. Sanctus and the Jackal. So he hits. Wounds on a 3. Wounds. AP minus 2. D3 damage.
Dead guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bilbo Baggins, I completely agree with that. Steven, what are your thoughts on
that's
what
all I
Bilbo
got right now.
Baggins
This guy pops
Pamps
smoke.
is saying right now in the chat?
I can't charge anything, so I'm gonna hold more. You want to do morale over there?
I cannot lose more than 1.
Is your
Yeah, those
commissar over
mortars are
there?
definitely going to eat those screens up. Andrew's
Okay,
probably
then
going to
the
hope that
conscripts do it
the
now.
morale tests aren't
Gotcha.
as bad using Valhallan strategy.
I can't lose more
He's got a
than
couple
1,
more
they
infantry squads in the
lose
building
1.
that he could potentially push
Gotcha.
forward.
I can't lose
But
more than 1, they lose 1.
we'll see how long the
Alright,
screens
so,
can last. Nick's not going
So
to be
I'm gonna
able
hold
to
more. I'm not gonna get the
afford
bonus,
holding
I'm
his
not
Genestealer
getting
cult
kills.
off forever.
You're
So I
gonna
think
kill more
whether
and
the
hold
screens are there or
more.
not, he's going to probably
I'm
bring
gonna
them
get
in.
1 recon.
Mike, do you
I
think
think-
he's going to last 2 or 3 turns? Do you think what turn do you think he's going to bring in all of his reserves?
So you get hold more. You did not.
It really
Correct.
depends
So I got
on
2, you got
if
3.
that conscript
I only got
screen is
1
still
recon.
there or not.
You got 1 recon. Where's
It's
the
already
bell?
looking like
He's
it's
right there.
folding near the
Where's the guy
near
over
the
here?
north section.
Did you see me?
But I think I see a couple guys there.
Just checking.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think if I was Andrew at deployment, in light of hindsight, I would maybe think about like suicidally deploying that Wyvern forward, hoping to get first turn, and then having the Genestealer Cult mortars in range of it, so that you could preemptively kill those, and then that would keep the screen a lot
What
safer.
is?
The tank commander.
So let me ask you this: would you guys
Oh, you're gonna keep
rather
River all the way over there?
have
Over here.
mortars
I can't shoot twice,
target the Wyvern or the conscripts?
Can't shoot twice if I do that.
They've got to target the conscripts. I think he's just saying that if Andrew had placed his Wyvern up there, he could at least kill some of the mortars in response.
Right, and that way they would be dead before they killed a whole number of these conscripts and cleared
Once
the way for a
those-
lot of his.
Yeah, once those conscripts are dead, those mortars really aren't going to have a good target the rest of the game. I mean, they can chink away on some knights or something, but you're going to need 6s to win them, 6s to win the Lehman Russ there. The Wyvern, you're still going to need 5s. I mean, they're going to pay for themselves once they're going to do their job that they're in the list for once they kill the
I think
conscript.
I'm giving up board control here.
Yeah, if they kill the conscripts, like Andrew won't have any reason to kill them after that point. They'll just stay back there plinking away at knights or whatever they can try to find.
Now Andrew's moving again here, so it must be his turn. So it looks like, you know, not too many conscripts actually died there.
That is correct. It is the top of turn 2. Andrew's in the lead by 5 points, followed by Nick with 3. I was talking to Andrew kind of before the game, and I was wondering, why did you pick Valhalla as your for your company? He said, well, you know, I can only ever lose one guy to morale. Now I thought about that. So how cool is it to have conscripts that essentially you only lose one guy ever, regardless of the number of casualties you take? That's huge.
It's almost like the start of the edition.
Yeah, exactly. With
Now, is he taking the relic on his commander that can still do use the pistol to do the execution thing for one morale loss, or what's allowing him to do that? I thought that the Valhalla actual special rule is just you round half of your loss.
Well, let's look it up. I
mean, he
reading
might
this
not
wrong.
have
This
it
is my second
listed
hand.
on his list. He might be paying for it pre-game.
Yeah,
Let me
I
look
think
at
it
this.
is like the pistol or whatever.
Yes, that is what he has.
I'll read it off here. One sec.
Yeah.
You're forcing me to make decisions, and that's what you want to do.
Trying. I know I'll be
Jason,
coming
did
out
you
slow to start,
take a look
but-
at the clock like Steven asked at the start of the round?
Sorry, yes. I know he mentioned something about a clock, but I totally forgot. So let's zoom on over using my fancy camera work.
Seed some ground. Because we just cannot.
Let's see. We got an hour 14 for Nick and an hour
We're not there
7
yet, but yes.
for
trying.
Andrew.
Yep. So it's called
Good.
Pete Rov's MK45. The bearer may replace their
I
bolt
can't stop
pistol
that.
with another pistol, basically.
Coming.
Prevents Valhallan units within 6 inches from losing more than one model per morale check.
I thought I was a little
So
further
yeah,
out, and
effectively
then
it's what
Gatling gun,
the
but I
commanders
wasn't.
could do at the start of
I'm
8th
on 1 inch
edition.
in.
I got a 12 move.
Little trick there. So he's taking a 30-man squad of conscripts, saying, "Go ahead, shoot all your mortars at them, kill 12 of them, whatever. I'm not going to basically be affected by morale, and I'm not going to have to spend command points to save them from morale."
But I shouldn't have lost that squad. Everything else I'm okay with. Like, there's not much else I can do about it.
Right. I did what I had to.
Yeah.
This list is pretty good against hordes. You know?
It doesn't feel like it, but yeah, it's done. It's what do I want to say? Deceiving.
It is. It's flexible and deceiving.
Yep, so like Andrew's mentioned here, he has built this list to fight hordes. Hordes have tried to been the counter meta to knights. He's taking this Valhallan detachment specifically to stay alive as a screen, using the morale thing. He's got, one wyvern to help snipe some stuff that's out of line of sight. He's got the sneaky commander in there. No one's really going to be targeting that Lehman Russ tank because they're going to be targeting the knights usually. He's taking House Crest with his knights, going to try to get some rerolls on the stomps. Like we saw last game, he's not afraid to get that Castellan or the Crusader into combat to get those extra 12 stomps out. He's really trying to maximize the value of these units by using them in every phase of the game.
Squad, I can see squad, I can see things. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Now we'll see how well that theory holds up here when the Genestealer cults
Okay.
actually come in this
I
next
thought you
turn.
couldn't give orders to yourself as the tank commander.
Yes, you can.
Have they changed that?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Nick might keep them out an extra turn, seeing as how those conscripts are still there. I don't know if he feels like it would be worth it. He might just bring in a unit or two, but
Yeah.
I think he's going to keep out some heavy hitters like the demo charges for turn 3.
Yeah, and I agree he might do that. We'll see. You know, it looked like he only killed a couple conscripts there. I don't know how long he can afford to keep them off. You know, maybe just one more turn. But those mortars really didn't do as much as I thought they were going to do against this conscript.
And now wounding on
Force.
I happened to hear some lamenting over some dice during the mortar shooting, so I think they underperformed.
Yeah, he might have rolled bad on the shots. I know one of them was at 11, but that's
Wow, that's really good.
you know, fairly average, I guess.
11.
8, 10, 11.
Turn it up to 11.
So I'm in cover, so I'll actually have the 3 up. So 3 wounds, 1 wound left.
1 wound left. Okay. This guy's gonna dump everything into them.
Okay. You can see them from up here, right?
Yeah.
And 24 inches. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
because you're measuring to those guys.
24 to him.
Yep.
That's how I worked it. Okay, so that's 20 shots because I moved. So 20 shots, re-rolling ones. That'd be 4 ones. They all hit. So twink and 1, 2, 3, 4. Wounding on 3s.
So I have a 4 up save. I can go a 3 up.
That would
Any
be
more
11.
shooting? Hold on one sec.
So we
sorry,
got the
I think I'm
Punisher
just gonna
cannon
to give
opening
them
up
+1
here
save.
from the Knight Commander. I think it issued
So
itself
11,
order to
so
reroll ones.
8.
What does that give you?
I think it's targeting that squad in the middle there.
A 3 up save.
Okay.
4, 8.
Yeah, as
9,
a
10, 11. I'm
solo
gonna roll
tank
these 4 dice
commander,
separate 'cause they're
that's
not in cover.
with especially with the
So I have a
Punisher with
5 up, 4
non-random
up, so
shots.
3 up.
That's the only order that's really
There's
relevant
2
to
so
it.
far.
Yeah, you know, and I really like that
Oh,
inclusion in his list
sorry,
there. You
I
know,
rolled
like
this
he
4.
said, he's kind of geared this list
these
to
2.
killing,
There's,
There's 1.
you know, armies like this.
This
And
guy's
most
6.
people would probably just favor the battle
He's not in
cannon, but
cover.
when
He's
you've
got
already
3
got a
bottom cover,
Crusader and a
yes.
Castellan
Yeah.
with the Call's
He's
Wrath
my
and the
second
Volcano
player,
Lance, you really don't need much
He's dead,
more
so these
anti-armor
rest
than
are
that in
2
your list. I
ups.
think the Punisher's
These
a
are
nice
covered.
touch here.
Wow.
1.
Bilbo Baggin
And
Pamps.
then the heavy bolters?
Yes, Andrew has actually told us on stream that he does not like rerolls in the dice app.
Oh, sorry. I had to do.
So,
Bilbo
if you
Pam
want to
for
watch a
those.
really
Does
good game versus Orcs versus Andrew's list,
Yeah, 'cause I
check
kinda
out
like
round
reroll
4 of the
ones.
Dallas Open here on Twitch, and we'll be uploading these videos to YouTube within the next week
do you
or
get
so.
the
Oh, no.
-1? Yeah.
Also, if you're just joining us, this is the top of round 2.
4.
Here at the
4,
final
so I'm gonna
game
have
of the
3 ups,
Dallas
so
Open
-1.
GT. Andrew is in charge with 5
dice.
points, with Nick 3.
Uh,
My name's Jason Horn. I am the TO of the Iron Halo, followed by Mike McKinney and Stephen Hetmeyer, judges at the Iron Halo and good friends.
That was fun.
Yeah, I do agree. German or Germanicore. Nick does have 20 mining lasers, which is the reason why he took the rusted cog, I believe,
Yep.
Well,
and which will be coming pretty handy. I don't think any of them are on the board right now. I think he put
Yeah.
those guys in reserve.
you could try.
You know, this
but
game has
it's
such a
just-
familiar feel to the last game we saw. You know, Andrew going first against another Horde army, and we're really just sitting here waiting to see how this beta strike does for Nick and how much, you know, it's actually going to render these knights, how much damage it's going to do, because that's going to basically be the game I think we're in agreement on. You know, does he have the strategy and the firepower here to knock out a knight or two early on, or, you know, might he roll bad like the Ludas did and it kind of just edged the other way towards Andrew?
As Bilbo Baggins pointed out, yes, it is the bladed cog, not rusted. Whatever I said. Thank you.
That's Bilbo Baggins' grandpa, by the way. I think that's what Pamps is, right?
Yep.
3. Okay.
Let's say also, yes, lists are uploaded on
3, 4.
BCP, so check them out there.
Picks 2. Woo!
Unfortunately, I noticed that Dallas is not
4-7,
sponsored, so you have to be a subscriber
he's
to
got
check the list
6
out
left, so
if you're not
5, 7.
No, I think you can.
He's good.
You should be able to check him out for a year,
Just taking
for
6. Okay.
the week of the event.
I couldn't.
Really? Huh. I'll have to talk to my good friend Paul
Paul's
McKelvey
Wrath
with
over
Best
here. I'm
Coast
not
Karting.
overcharging.
Okay.
Do we want
Might
to
as
do
well.
a quick rundown of the list real
11
quick
shots,
since
so-
we're getting so
Okay.
much?
Yeah, we can
conversation?
totally do that. Steven, why don't you go ahead and quickly cover Andrew's list, what you like and what you liked about it?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So yeah, I've been talking enough about the anti-horde capabilities. Quick rundown: he's got a Knight detachment, he's got the Crusader, the Castellan standard loadout, Call's Wrath, Volcano Lance, obviously. He's got the Gallant.
T6.
Then he's got the guard detachment. He's got the commander tank with the Punisher on it. He's got a commander, 2 10-man infantry squads, 1 30-man conscript squad. And then in the back there, he's got a Wyvern behind the building. You can't really see it. That's essentially the list. The Knights are House Krast,
That's why you
and
had to
the
look
guard
at it
are
for
the
a
Howland.
So can't have it both ways.
Okay, Mike, why don't you go ahead and run through the Genestealer cult list, please?
Yeah, so for anyone new to the chat, we went over it earlier, but the Genestealer cult have a brigade and a battalion of Genestealer cult and a small battalion of guardsmen helping them out. The Genestealer cult basically brings the sampler platter of the characters, Patriarch Primus, Magus, Kellermorph, Clamavus, all those different guys. And then he has a whole a half dozen neophyte squads. Several of them have double mining laser. A couple of the or 3x3 mortars. A couple of those vehicles you can see on the that they're measuring to, like as I speak.
Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds at -2.
Cool. Did you cover the
They both go through. How much damage?
jackals, the bikes with all demo charges?
He's gone.
I got feel no pain.
Not yet. I was going
Oh,
back
sorry.
to the list to make sure what I missed. Yeah, he's got the 2 units of 5
I'm an
bike
eternal
beasts
optimist.
that all
Thanks,
have
Jason.
demo charges and
Alright.
are probably waiting just off
All right,
screen
so
to
over
do
there,
some
it
damage.
was Fury, 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
do you guys
4,
see
5,
any of the
6,
neophyte
7, 8,
hybrids
9,
on the
10,
game
11,
table
12,
right now? I don't.
13, 14.
No, they'll be. I think we're still on
We're rolling
Andrew's
ones, 'cause
turn
that's
here,
his
so I think
warlord
everything's going to
spiel.
come in if they do come in once it
Twos come out,
rotates back
those
to
all
Nick's
hit.
bottom and
Big
Correct.
6, 2s.
I mean, this is a pretty awesome game so far.
4, 8, 9.
I think we're gonna see a lot
9
change
-2, so
this
just
turn
do the feel no
and for
pain.
sure by turn 3.
Do we get another 6 there? No, it's a 9.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to comment on is, a lot of people probably browse through
here
the
come the,
stream are going to
stubbers.
see the results of this tournament, and immediately just say, "Oh, wow, another Knights list, another
Scott's
Castellan list,
rerolling
top
ones, 'cause
table,
that's his spiel.
possibly even taking the tournament home."
3s.
And if that's all you take away from it, then that's all you're going to think. But if you look at what Andrew's done with this list, yes, he's taken a unit that's very powerful, very widely used, a Castellan, a Crusader, a Gallant. But he's adapted them to the current meta. A lot of people are trying to make these horde lists that are anti-knight, and Andrew's adapted and overcame. He's taken a different house, Krast, which gives him options. You can either go anti-tank with the Relic or anti-infantry.
They're not minus to hit, right?
He's doing things like taking a Punisher cannon. You're not
That many
seeing those
hits.
too often anymore. House or
Threes, rerolling.
Valhallan, you're really not seeing that a lot. Taking the pistol
Hey, 6.
for the ignore morale. People were aware of that early on, but I haven't really seen it played much.
I lose 3.
So you got to give credit to these players that they're not just taking net lists, they're not just relying on copying something from someone else. They're really having to adapt to the meta and overcome, and that's what you see from both these players on this top table here. You got the Genestealer cult, who's also adapting to the meta. With the new codex, so really making use out of a list that is very dynamic, has a lot of options.
Fair.
After the game starts.
That's a very good point.
All right,
Now,
that's
Mike,
my
what do you think
turn.
about
You killed 3 things. you rolled 1.
Bilbo Baggins' grandpa
Where's the
in the
damn-
chat? I can't really talk about it now because I'm actually at the table.
got a
But I
butcher's
think you can
bell,
probably
you got
talk
another
about it
skill point,
and
right?
give me your thoughts on what he's writing about.
I'm gonna get one from behind.
Yeah, they have an ability to put
Oh,
guys
no,
back
I've
in
gotta shoot
reserve. So he's
Okay.
basically talking
Shoot him. I
about
got the
putting
melty
down
guns
one of the
and
units and
heavy
bikes
bolter
where they'll
in
be
hand.
safe, and then
Fury shot the last
having
guns.
an extra
Melt-
turn
melted from him.
to
Yep, melted
clear
heavy
more
bolters, I'm sorry.
screening make a
There's
target
the
more
Memphis,
vulnerable
3
to
heavy
them to show up
hits.
later, and that way they could actually sneak
3
in.
wounds, minus
He
4.
could use that
Oh, it was
ability
on me.
to have
I'm
them
sorry.
come in on
Oh, no,
turn
you're on the right side.
4
Never mind.
when
Never mind.
no other
3
army would
wounds?
be
3
able
wounds,
to do
minus
that
3.
normally.
4 pinball. Ooh, he's got 1 wound left. Or,
Yeah, MMX Janes. I definitely think
Sorry, okay.
that is a
So I
possibility
killed something. I
of
hold
dropping those
something.
in.
I killed a whole bunch of things.
yeah, you got 4 units.
I think the big question is here is, Andrew's now had
I do not
essentially
have 1
two
point of Reaper
free
yet.
turns of
I got
shooting
one Reaper.
Nick's army.
Oh, yeah, you
You know,
have.
there's 2
You
objectives
killed
there,
20.
in the middle and down by
Engineer,
Nick's
I
head
got 2
there
butchers
that Nick
built.
has no one on. Has Andrew done enough these 2 turns that
Okay,
when
go for it, man.
this beta strike comes in,
That's not a behind lines.
is it going to be enough,
Correct.
or did he
This
just
guy's
basically
gonna
kill
line.
some chaff, and is Nick going to be able to overcome 2 turns of
4,
shooting
they're
essentially
fine.
with this
3,
list?
6, 11.
Oh, you re-roll? Is that what the 2 dice is for?
Yeah, I rolled 2 dice and picked the lowest.
Okay.
I feel
So-
like Nick hasn't lost anything that he really
advancing.
cares about.
Yeah.
Basically, the power of the Genestealer cult
2,
for this
he-
kind of
Yeah, more
matchup,
control.
and why he would be comfortable going second
6,
is that
4,
his valuable stuff is sneaking around and about to show
I'll do
up.
that there.
He hasn't really lost a lot of the power of his list, even when he takes 1 or 2 turns of shooting.
Yeah, and you see here right here,
Excuse
the
me, Andrew,
benefit
can you
of
roll
going
this stuff?
second, he's
You don't
moving
mind?
back onto that objective center
Yeah.
field. He's still going to be
Yeah,
scoring
yeah.
points.
Okay.
The real question was, and still is, the ability to score those points later game, I guess, with some of those units in the back. And I think he's still got that, to your point. The mortars aren't going anywhere. He's still got some midfield presence. And once those other units come in, Andrew's not really going to be able to afford to shoot these guys off objectives. He's going to have to focus on the threats.
Right? He's going to be busy.
Okay.
And you can see that Nick is already pre-measuring 9 inches from those from those conscripts right now. Those dice that are on the table. I'll draw a line.
Run for this guy. Awesome. 7.
Nope.
18. Okay.
I don't know how this game's going to go, Nick.
11. We'll see.
Andrew,
9,
very curious there. You hear a
9.
comment saying, I'm not sure how this game is going to go. He's not sure, what this beta strike's going to do or not do.
12.
I think one of the big things here is, can that Punisher continue to sit there
I was gonna be
and
helpful.
just harass these units of squads? I think that's going to be key here. If that thing can stay, alive and firing for a couple turns, that's all. The 9 heavy bolter shots and the 20 Punisher shots can really be what he needs to overcome some of these Genestealer cult squads.
Yeah, it's almost like that tank can be the MVP for this game, to be honest. Just because of the number of shots and volume
Well, yeah,
of
I mean,
fire.
when you're rolling a volcano cannon and you get 3 shots, and then Cole's Wrath shoots 4 times, you get a bad roll. There's volume of fire is just not there from that. And that's what he's relying on, the stomps. But that command tank right there is could likely be the MVP here in terms of shooting.
I would argue that he was probably the MVP for last round too.
Right, Bizarre. If it moves under half strength, it's got the Lehman Russ rule, shoots twice, so it's 49 shots, including the heavy bolters. Could basically disintegrate the squad itself.
God, that's brutal. I didn't even think about that. Oh,
7.
here we go.
9, 10, 11, 12,
Yeah.
14, 15, 16,
20 minute a unit.
17. Yep. Whoa!
There's the whoa.
20.
Yeah, I don't know. Steven, explain the woe for those
sorry, I
people
forgot
in
to move this guy.
the chat that have never played Andrew Ford before.
Yeah, so I've been around Andrew Ford, played him a few times. Usually when you hear the whoa from him, it's usually something pretty significant, whether a bad dice roll, a good dice roll, some information he's just learned or something. It's kind of a funny little, just something I've come to enjoy hearing out.
You must be doing something right if you hear that.
That's pretty solid.
Now, Bizarre, aren't those
So they're in
the
this corner.
vultures? Aren't they hitting on
We have stuff in
fours,
your
or are they
corner.
actually able
I
to
have
move
stuff
and
in
hit
this
on
corner. I have
threes?
stuff in this corner. Yeah. I have another 16-man unit. I don't think I want to bring them down yet. I'll move. Kind of like that. All right, so I gotta bring out the rest of this stuff to make this work.
And just like that, he's committing his entire GSC force right now.
So he just commented that he's gonna move. Now
that
that
another
would
killer
technically
morph?
be an
Yeah.
order in the shooting phase. Would
You love those, don't you?
They're okay.
Yes.
That's a mean unit, man.
Jason, can you actually tell what units Nick has left out? Because I'm pretty sure he's not going to bring everybody.
I'm pretty sure there's probably 3 more those 20-man acolyte squads. Let me double check his list. I don't see any bikes. Yeah, the neophyte hybrids. Yep. I think 1, 2. Yeah, there's probably 2 more that are off the board right now, and then I don't see any of the bikes yet. Let's zoom in to see what he's bringing.
Yeah, I figure he's hoping to completely remove the screen this turn, and next turn he'll just have open access to whatever big targets he wants for the bike.
The Patriarch's in, the Familiar's in.
We're only 24 from them.
Like
yeah,
mining
and I
lasers
think
are in.
that the biggest thing here for Andrew is the fact that there is still a screen there. You know, if he can prevent anything from touching those knights this turn, I think it'll
Sorry,
be
what'd you
really
say?
favorable.
I want to make sure these guys are 24
From him,
this night. Yeah.
away from.
And they're 24 from them.
Yeah, that would be
You wanna be
impressive,
within 24,
Bilbo
yes.
Baggins,
Ah, okay.
if he could kill that knight
What are
this
those?
turn.
Mining lasers.
Cheers.
Yeah, but it'll also be
24
interesting to see
is
what these
right
psychic
there.
powers that are going to come in are able
You're
to do.
Yeah, that mental onslaught.
Then I'll move the guys out.
In
that
March,
way,
I
too.
lost
the guys are
14
all gonna
wounds
swirl
to
around.
1 cast on one of my
Swirl
knights.
around?
too.
Yeah. You'll see what I mean.
You mean intermingle
Yeah.
to provide screening?
A little bit. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll have another squad here. They'll all be touching the cover. 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 7, 8.
Germanic Gore, that's probably exactly what he's planning on
How
doing.
much does a
that
Keller
means
morph
he's
cost?
hitting...
60 points.
Oh, so that
What
was
would
your only.
What would he
summon.
be hitting on, you guys, in
Thank
the
you.
chat? For all of his
Thank you for
mining
not doing that
lasers.
to me again.
I would love to do more. Let's get over there. I picked up.
Hitting on 3s? That's good stuff. Is that with the +1 or not?
That's with. They hit on 4s normal.
Okay.
Don't want to bring a bike unit, and I don't.
As Darth Vader would say,
how
that's
fast are
most
those?
impressive.
16.
Damn. Faster than Space Marine bikes, huh?
Yeah.
You know, this definitely looks like a
Enduro
Genestealer gang
motos.
here as you zoom in on them. I see all kinds of. I think I see Cobra Commander in there. I think I see the
I think
Teenage
that's all
Mutant
we're
Ninja
gonna bring out
Turtles.
for right now.
A
I
few
have another
other
16-man Brood Brother squad,
few other
10-man
things are-
neophytes, and another bikes.
Yeah, they're just
So,
basically a
You're holding off on
hodgepodge.
those.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
probably bring those toys in and they'd count, right? Just bring them to a major
Alright,
event.
we're gonna go to Psychic
Is that Jar Jar
Phase.
Binks over there?
Um,
Making me think of
I
that
wanna
old
do
music
perfect
video
ambush
for
for
the
anyone. I don't
Ultimate
think I
Destiny
do.
song.
as much as I would love to, just don't think it's worth it.
Probably not.
I mean, I would love to mind control that, but
Yeah.
all right, we're just gonna do mental onslaught on him.
Okay, from
Patriarch.
this guy?
Yeah. No,
No, this
Patriarch.
guy.
He should be in range.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah. Goes off.
Okay.
He's leadership 13. What's your leadership right now? 9?
9.
Okay. So I have +4 on you, right? So if I roll
Here comes the onslaught.
2 and you roll a 6, so you have 15, I'd have a 15.
I'm out.
Yeah, so if I roll 3 or higher, I'm causing a mortal wound. All right, so first one, I'm gonna spend a command point to reroll that. I get a 2.
So where did our command points go? Oh, you got it.
There.
And I roll a 6. I'm out.
Okay.
Wow, I've never been that lucky.
That was huge.
And
He
these
just
aren't
got
even
away
my
without
dice.
having to take any mortal wounds.
I want to get my dice.
Mental onslaught.
These are not good.
So
Huge.
Nick talks through it. He says, you need to roll a 6 and I need to roll 2 or less.
Yes.
Nick rolls a 2 or
Everybody knows
less,
the Iron
command
Halo's
points,
a
he gets a
stinky
2,
guy
and then
in
Andrew
place.
rolls a 6. Escapes the situation.
Golly. We're old
You guys can't see it now, but Andrew is smiling ear to ear.
The Primus is picking this one to reroll ones.
I would
Sorry?
too.
Sorry,
Yep,
I gotta
there's-
finish my psychics
You
real
know,
quick.
I think these knights really do have some sort of jaded armor or something. You know, last
I didn't,
game,
but it was my
escaping
fault.
from those Ludas, and now this.
Not happy about it still.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just smite.
You know, with any competition or
Goes off for a
sport,
6.
you gotta be good, and you
2
also
more
gotta
wounds
have
to
some
those
luck
guys.
to it. I think
these
the
guys?
luck's
Yeah,
shining
they're
on
the
Andrew's
closest.
side right
Well,
now.
why
It's
don't
a
I just kill 2 guys then?
That's fine. All right. Now we'll go to shooting.
I definitely agree.
We're gonna tag that guy is +1 to hit.
Okay.
The Primus has him as the old grudge, so we're gonna reroll wounds against him. The Primus is gonna pick him for reroll ones.
Well, I guess Bizarre Beast, I need to hear that story. That sounds pretty funny.
Ones. Yeah, 2 wounds.
Against both of them?
All wounds, reroll ones.
That's a lot of rerolls.
microphone fart in church.
All
Wow.
right, so we're gonna do Kellamore first and these guys.
Okay.
So the beige dice is gonna be the relic. The yellow dice is the normal stuff.
Okay.
3 hits here, 3 hits here. Then this into the conscripts. So that is 6 wounds. AP -1.
I think the people that are
AP
cheering for the
-2.
Genestealer
So
cult to
5
win need to
Well,
channel
that guy just
something
played
in
dice
chat,
then,
some
yeah.
emotes or something. They better help
Guy just
channel
played
these dice rolls.
And then how many at -1? -1? And you kill 4 of them.
Alright, so we're rerolling once for the whole
Germantic,
group over there.
yeah, he does have a primary.
You've already got
factor
more than
in
me,
the
right?
list. I'm not exactly sure where
More-
he is on
more
the board,
objectives?
Yes.
but I'm probably
Well, then I'll
up
just
with
go
the
like that.
big blob of
And then we're
guys.
gonna
that
do
came in.
move on him. Did his run? I think we do first rank, second rank on these guys.
Okay.
So we'll fire them. How many of them were within 12?
Up through this guy.
Yeah, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So they're gonna get 10 shots there.
And this guy's out.
Okay, so that's
This
12
guy's in.
shots. All right, so then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 4,
Woo!
8,
56 shots.
12.
Would you like to do it on assault dice?
Well, it's more than that, right? Because it's 14
Oh boy.
Times 4.
times 4,
56.
and then the 12. Yeah, 56. That's fine. Yeah, let's just do that there.
All right. This is 50 dice. Actually, it's a lot more than that right now. Let me get rid of a
19.
bunch of these. Obviously, last time I did this, So what do we say,
more.
56?
Yeah. That's 5.
Oh, no. Dang it. There, now you got 56
cool.
dice on there.
So reroll ones. Actually, not
Against
reroll.
these guys, right?
Yeah.
No. Why are you rerolling ones?
The Kellamorph doesn't affect the Brood Brothers.
Okay.
So 4s.
Yeah.
Ah! Wow, that's horrible. 9 wounds.
Okay. Normal.
Yeah.
and I saved a few of them, I lose 5 more guys. Oh, you know what? I'm going to switch this guy for that guy. Okay, so I got 5.
You lost 6.
1, 2, 3.
All right, I'm gonna fire
4,
mortars over there.
5.
8, 9.
Okay.
3, 6, 9.
Okay. You may wipe the squad.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for. 1 wound. 1 wound on them.
Okay. Failed.
The other mortar squad. 13, 3, 6, 9.
You're going to wipe the squad.
12, 13. How many are left?
1, 2, 4.
4,
5.
5. There's 5 wounds right there.
Okay. You're going to wipe them. But that's what they're here for, and you kill them all.
Okay.
No more conscript
So at
worries.
least I'm gonna get a kill on my second turn.
You got to kill.
Okay, so that's that. We're gonna start firing the mining lasers here. We're gonna fire everything. Mine lasers and auto guns there.
Into
So,
him.
Yeah.
So I will rotate my...
Oh yeah, to
Where's the
point out
command?
what
There we go.
MMX
I'll rotate
James
my
said,
shields.
the
I'm gonna
patriarch
affect
in the
that.
middle of all those guys is
You're gonna
basically
affect-
immortal
Yeah.
because
How
he
much does
can
that cost?
pass
3.
off the wounds to any of the other
Stop
dudes.
it.
So even if
You
you
still
had
get your
like the
command points.
gallant run up,
I still get
clear
my
a
command
hole,
point, okay.
charge him,
So it costs you 3.
even
so
in
you're down
combat, you just
to
have little
8.
dudes
8.
die for him,
So
and
first
so
mine
his
laser,
mental
I'm gonna
onslaught,
roll
he's
4,
gonna get
And
to
that's
try
your only
again.
vect, right?
Yeah, I don't get any more. So the
Yeah,
first
I think
lasers
that's
gonna
going to be
be
interesting to see
mine
here
lasers
where
versus
Andrew
auto
moves
guns.
his models
Any
after this
threes, you're gonna
turn,
be rolling ones.
and how many, of the cult he's going to be able to clear out.
I mean 3s.
Does he try to
Sixes, we're rolling
engage with the
everything
knights
once.
and get
Oh
some
my God.
stomps in, or
Wow.
is he going to just fall back here and...
So 4 normal saves, 2 mine lasers.
1, 2, 3, 4, just regular old saves.
Yep.
Failed 2 of them.
And then 2 mine lasers.
Sorry, let me get some dice on him.
Go back to you on for saves.
All right, let me get down to 10. There we go. And 2
I
minor lasers.
think
at
given where they
invulnerable.
are,
yeah,
I don't
maybe my
think
sword.
retreating actually
one. How many
gets
do they do?
Andrew
D6?
anything. I just think he
damage.
might
Okay,
have
I'll
to
take it.
just go forward and roll the
Second
dice.
unit doing the same thing.
Yeah, in
reroll
which case that'll be
ones.
interesting, because I'm assuming that the Punisher is going to clear out probably that first squad there.
6s,
And
rerolling wounds here.
Nick's positioned some units behind the temple there to kind of counterpunch if those knights do come forward,
One
so
normal, one
we'll have
mining
to see how that
laser.
works.
1 normal. Fails. Mining laser. Makes it.
Okay.
You'd rather have the other way around, I'll bet.
Yes. Third unit doing the same thing. All hit. Rerolling these for wounds. 2 normal, 2 mine lasers.
2 normal. Makes them both. 2 mining lasers. Makes one. Hold on.
Okay.
No, I'll take it.
Okay. 5 damage.
Okay.
All right, last squad. How many does he have left?
He has 13. How many of these squads do you have?
4.
Wow.
Okay, so the knights about halfway dead there from these mine lasers and
wounds
various
here.
shots.
1 normal, 2 normals, 1 mine laser.
2 normal.
So there's only
Makes one.
5 rounds
Fails
here,
1.
so there'll probably
mining
be
laser.
a couple undefeated players, and it'll come down to battle
Fail.
points at the end of this.
Do I want to? Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, when I looked
5.
prior to
Stop
the
rolling
round, there were
5s.
7
You
undefeateds
did a lot
and
of
2
saves.
more
I
that
have,
had
I have.
1
I'm down to
draw.
7.
So there will probably still be 3 undefeated
Sniper
after this.
rifle firing at him from the bike. Knocked. Hits. Full wounds. Nothing. The Sanctus. Hits. Nothing. These guys are fine. Last mortar squad's gonna fire into him. 8, 9. One wound.
Made it.
Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Yeah, so I'm going to get 3 for Titanic Slayer.
There's those mortars
I'm gonna
doing
get one
what
for
we talked
recon.
about. They're
Why
out
do you
of
get 3?
conscripts to kill, so they're just trying to plink off night.
You get 2.
16,
Yeah, that's a tough task. 6
so
is
I
to
killed
win.
1, I'm going to get hold more. I don't get the bonus.
Hold and hold more. I killed more.
Yep, so you're going to get 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
You're up on me by 1 on primary.
Okay. Yeah.
6. He's got 6 in the primary. I got 5. And then he's got I've got 4 in my secondary. He's got 5 in
Looks
my
like
secondary.
Andrew
He
going
keeps
ahead
shooting my
and
stuff,
electing there
Jason.
to possibly move
Hey,
these
stop
knights
shooting my
forward into the
stuff.
line.
What do you still have off the board?
Another
Yeah, I
demo
think
charge
he's
unit.
left with little choice but to put up or
16
shut
Brew
up. At the
Brothers,
moment.
another 10-man unit.
He's backing off. I won't save him.
It's
There's no
time
more
for the,
conscripts to get
Right.
in the way.
thing.
Okay.
You know, it's almost interesting.
I'm gonna pay
Andrew
one
had
to
the
have
initial
him work at
castle,
full.
Okay.
but he's really the one almost going into Nick's little castle.
Okay, we got a score update. This is the top of turn 3. Andrew's in the lead by 10 points. Nick is closely behind with 8.
This is when it comes down to it, isn't it?
I think you
Yeah.
typoed Nick's score. Otherwise, he is massively in the lead.
Yes, yeah, I did do a typo. You can't get 83 points. Contrary to LVO's popular belief, you can't get 83 points in the ITC missions.
That's not what you told me when we played last. How many points did you see?
Can you show me the farthest range of your mortars?
That's the back squad.
Okay, the closest one.
So
Right there?
Andrew
Okay,
here
so I'm
trying to
fine.
make sure the rest of his infantry are clear out of range of these mortars so they don't have really good.
I feel more better now.
Yep, there he is asking for the range.
And you've got a unit of Brew Brothers and a.
Yeah, I don't see this turning
10
out
man
well
neophyte
this
squad.
turn for the Imperium. I think just average dice
You know,
are going to see
I gotta do what
a
I
bunch
can
of
do,
these
right?
little dudes
Yep.
die, but nothing important. And then between Mental Onslaught and the bikes
Yes, I
coming
can
in
still
with the
see
demo
them.
charges, I think Nick's turn we'll probably see 2 or 3 dead either knights
So you have
or tank. He
4
might
of
want
these
to actually
units?
prioritize that tank because that
Crap.
Punisher can do
That
some
is a
work.
crap ton.
Yeah, I agree, and I
those
think
guys,
that Nick
but
just
I'm in good
has
range.
enough on the table right now, board control wise, sitting on the objectives, sitting in the right spots. Andrew's gonna really almost have to clear out
And are they all intermingled?
all of this
Yeah.
if he's gonna want to have a
This
chance
is
for
really
next
hard
turn.
to tell.
Well, these guys flare out here, and these guys flare out here.
Oh, okay.
Now that you go back.
All right.
So all the other squads are in cover, basically, except for 1.
Okay. And this is a unit of 20. Guy is going to dump.
I think we'll probably see this
Everything into this
Punisher
unit
open
of
up into
20.
this squad of 20.
Reroll ones.
Yep, yep.
And he gets to fire all 40 shots this turn. Rerolling ones. How many ones do I get? I get 4. And does not convert on 3 of those. So I convert 1 extra. So 1 extra goes back in the pot. I've got 27 hits. Wounding on 3s. 18 at minus nothing.
4, 8, 14. 5s.
You know, that's the problem about Genestealer cult is that they are definitely glass cannony. There's a lot of, you know, if you just like, you know, blow at them, they'll just kind of fall over.
Yeah, fortunately though for Nick, I think he's got enough glass on this screen here that he can afford.
You're gonna leave some ragged lines, I'll bet. How many did you lose?
11 so far. I think I get 10.
Okay, you get.
These heavy
7,
bolters are gonna have to
8,
do
9,
some
10.
good
I'm still
work.
counting.
They're gonna need to
Yeah.
kill like 6
There's also
more.
heavy bolters though.
That wyvern's gonna need to come and hopefully clear out the rest of them if Andrew wants to get these knights in here where he wants.
I don't want to lose count here.
Oh, that's 11 right there.
All right.
Yeah, best case scenario for the Imperium is that he does hot on these shots going
5
in,
at minus 1.
and
6s.
really I just don't see him actually
2.
downing the
Wow.
important characters this turn though, with the loyal, unquestioning
1.
loyalty. So I can't see any world where Andrew has does not lose at least 2 of the 4 of his big
Wyvern's
power
gonna put everything he
models
has into
in the
him?
following
Yep.
turn.
Okay.
That was big there. I think he made 3 6s out of 5 there. Only lost 2 to the
Not
heavy
very
bolter.
many. 10, 11,
Wyvern's coming in now. Same target.
9.
Only 11 shots.
Only 11 shots, though.
Four,
5.
5.
I am always amazed at my opponent's ability to roll clutch 6s.
Mm-hmm.
It happens at the most
Keep him there.
convenient times, too, right?
Heavy bolter.
Oh yeah, I'll smack people with the like Reaper chain swords on knights, and
1 minus
the
1.
3 up will go to a 6 up, and they'll make like 2 or 3 of them, save 18 damage.
So you had
Double from him,
11
same
shots from the Wyvern's mortars. You had 3 from the heavy bolter. You had 49 combined shots from the tank commander, and
Okay.
you know you only killed about 16 of that squad. So I'd say it's probably less than what Andrew was hoping.
Guy will put his.
Yeah, that is no bueno.
flamer. Yeah, comes with the Avenger Catlin.
Gotcha.
He'll put his heavy flamer there. And this is 1 unit, right?
Sorry.
What I might have
that
looked to
is
do
1
is
unit, yeah.
here is
All right.
fire off the Castellan first,
unit
maybe
there,
put
there's a unit
the
there.
shouldered cannons into the rest of that squad, and then go with the
Heavy
flamer,
flamer into
on
them.
that Crusader because it's probably almost
Stubbers
a
into
waste on
them.
that squad.
Are they fearless?
Yep. He's the patriarch.
Yeah, I thought they might be. Stubbers into them. Battle cannon and rockets. I don't know where these are. They colored?
Yeah, this squad leans out.
All right.
So
And there's
yeah,
another
1,
squad
2,
back
3,
here?
4, 5, 6,
Crusader's
7, 8, yep.
incidental fire
These
should
2,
finish them
and then
off.
this
though.
squad leans in, and then these other 2 back here and back here.
All right.
Yeah. Now, do we know if
into this
he
squad here?
boosted that
Okay.
Crusader's
I'll put
profile back
my-
to full,
that's 10 guys?
or
Yep.
is it actually acting at? I think it lost at least 13.
I did not catch if he used that or not.
I'll put the battle cannon and the rockets. And the Endless Fury will go into whichever squad is not at the front here.
Okay, so this back squad,
Yeah. Okay, Endless Fury.
right? So that'll be on these. Gotcha.
This will be a big roll.
Rolling
He's hoping
ones
for a
because
lot of
that's his
6s here on
thing.
Endless Fury.
A lot of 2s though. That's bad. All right, so that would be
think I
1,
only
2,
see
3,
one.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, only
doesn't
one
matter.
exploding
Oh,
shot
sorry,
there.
7.
So 6, 7, yeah.
7 at minus 2.
Oh, gotcha. Because the 6 adds another hit, yeah.
Right.
Bilbo Baggins, that's definitely a possibility. He is definitely
And they
an
all would
older
but
gentleman.
one. 6 at -2.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So I have a 6-up invulnerable save either way. I'll go through. Feel no pain.
Again, you know, probably not quite what you were hoping for from Endless Fury coming out. You get the 12 shots, 6s count as 2 hits, so
The
usually
battle
with Endless
cannon
Fury
and
you're
the-
hoping to
Into there, 5
probably
shots.
get a little more than 6 wounds out of it.
4 hits.
2 wounds.
2 6-ups. 1. How much damage?
3.
One's gonna die.
Rockets. 2 hits. 2 wounds, -2.
Strength 5 or 6?
Strength 8.
Oh, okay, gotcha. 2. How much damage each? D3.
D6.
I'm just gonna pick them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right, Stubbers and Flamer here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Heavy
as we're watching
Flamer,
through this,
4 of them.
I do feel like Andrew's just average dice rolls this turn are
2.
just a little low, or his average result. Some of it is Nick rolling some hot saves.
So if you guys are just joining us, this is the
And
final round
Stubbers.
of the Dallas Open. We're here in Grapevine, Texas. We're featuring the top table matchup with Andrew Ford and his Imperium. Nick Rose with his Genestealer Cult. This is the top of turn 3. Andrew's in the lead, and Nick is following close behind with 8 points. My name is Jason Horn. I am the shoutcaster here on site. We're followed by Mike McKinney and Stephen Hetmeyer, both with the Iron Halo GT. Hope you guys
Yeah.
are enjoying this. And
Not yet,
I
huh?
think Stephen, you had something you wanted to add?
Yeah, and so if you're just tuning in, you're probably looking at the board, seeing 3 big knights here. Might look a little dominant on the table, but the reason we're kind of going over and talking
Okay.
about
The big guy.
this from a perspective of what Andrew needs to do this turn as opposed to what's happening, and he's kind of rolling poorly here,
What
is
are these from?
we're just recognizing that if Andrew didn't have a really big turn here, it's going to be hard for him next turn because Nick's got a lot of hard-hitting units coming in
Okay, thank you.
out of reserves that are probably going to
So they're
do
not part of that. So there's only
pretty
one guy left
heavy
here.
damage to these knights.
Okay. All right.
So I think the Castellan's going to start firing here.
He's going to fire his Volcano Lance into him.
Okay.
Unlucky
Overkill.
cardsman.
He'll
Well, what
su-
else
he'll
am I going to?
survive.
What else am I going to shoot it at?
He'll
Right.
survive.
Volcano Lance into him.
Yeah, Jason.
Calls
it'd be
Wrath into
neat
the unit
if
that
we
lost
had
6.
in our
Okay.
UI, if we had a little window showing the units still in reserve for a play.
The Top Gun.
I'm not going to lie.
another
That's a
unit that
lot of
lost
work.
some?
Not really that talented. Actually, what I really like to see is
Top Gun into the unit that
if
lost
there was a
3.
way to reverse import
And the missile
into
the unit
Battle
that lost
Scribe
3.
lists that were submitted.
so
That way we could pull up Battle
Number of
Scribe
shots
kind of
to
on the
Volcano
fly,
Lance.
pull up stats. That would be actually really
Well, they
cool.
probably
So people
will.
out there in Twitch land, if you figured that out, contact me. I think that'd be
so
awesome.
3 at -5. Yeah. Okay. There's a unit. Calls Wrath into the unit that lost 6. 5 shots.
Yes, Bilbo, we'll definitely get more of the belly cam for Nick Rose.
Because I'm not suicidal. Oh, do I want to re-roll one of those? How many are left in that unit?
4.
4. I'm gonna spend a command point to re-roll one of those. Good. So that's 7 shots.
Nick, we had a request to add more of the belly cam.
They all hit but 1. Wounding on 2s. That would be 6 at -4.
6-up invul.
That unit's gone.
So Andrew doing his best here to clear whole units, trying to bolster his units killed for his
shoulder guns and the
trying to
rockets
gain
in
that
other
kill
squad.
more than
Rockets hits, kills a guy. Okay.
It is
And
always
the,
entertaining
top
how contentious that 1 point for the
Okay,
round
for 5
can be.
shots.
Sometimes you kill 1 unit and get it. Sometimes you have to kill like 8.
Wow.
Yeah, it
2
is, and
hits.
sometimes people put so much focus on
1
that.
wound at -1.
They could have easily just gained the hold more objective.
Does D3.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I guess I could do for the other calls wrap. Oh, well.
That's really a good
Alright,
topic for conversation
that's all
because
him. That's all.
when it
He's
comes to
already fired.
list
He's
building, you've
fired.
got a lot of people that will watch
That's
a
all
match
my
like this.
thing.
I'll say, man, I really should just start playing knights. Castellan's so powerful, Gallant so cheap and effective. But are you focusing more on winning
squad
games by killing your
ends
opponent?
here.
There's also the way of a list like Nick's
Squad ends here.
that
Yep, the squad
it
ends
can
here.
definitely do the damage
Okay.
and kill an opponent, but he's also got the option to enter a
This
game like this,
guy-
pick objectives such as recon behind enemy
Going to
lines,
charge.
and win the game, but not necessarily even having to
squad
focus on
staying
kills,
outside
but
of
just board control and
heroic
holding
intervention range.
objectives.
Okay. So I'm just gonna roll the auto guns here.
Yeah.
Still re-rolling ones. 3 hits, 6s. Nothing. And the 2 mining lasers. 1s. Nothing.
And luckily, I don't need much to get in. I'm staying outside of heroic
Well, in his
intervention range.
defense,
Okay.
Bizarre Beast, I mean, he's up
This
at
guy is
the
going
top
to
table,
charge
so the list has done well so
these
far,
2
at least
units.
with him
Alright,
piloting
same
it.
thing with the auto guns.
I think with the 50 guardsmen in the list and the way he has to ignore morale, it's hard to ask more than holding a screen off until turn
mine
3. If
lasers.
you can screen your
1
knights
hit.
for turn 1 and 2,
Create a wound.
that's usually more you're going to get out of it, unless you're playing just a single Castellan and 1,200 points of guard. It'd be hard to fit 3 knights into the list and have more than
I don't
that.
think it matters as much. 1 wound, 2 up save.
Made it.
You've been making saves like crazy. Andrew.
However,
I,
Steven, we did feature
I
a
agree.
4 knight and 4
I'm going
assassin
to
list for round 2 of the
command
Dallas
point that.
Open. You can check that out here on Twitch, or
Yes.
6.
if
Guess
you
that
want to
makes
watch
sense.
these games later on, we are going to feature
well,
them
anyway,
on
sorry.
our YouTube
Real quick.
page
So,
after we export them. So
with this 7
also
of this guy.
keep it going, chat. If you have any questions, let us know.
He just
Pretty
nudged me.
exciting
yeah,
game we
so
have
you go
lined up.
damage.
And he just got nudged too.
And we also
I
have a poll. I haven't actually
Yeah,
seen
you
this in a
touched
while.
him with the tape.
Wow,
Yeah, but I
7
didn't move him. Even
votes
still, that's,
for, or 88% people thinking that the
I don't think
Genestealer
that's
Cole
a-
win, and 1% for
I think they both
Admech,
nudged
or
out.
excuse me, Guard and Knights.
I,
If you haven't voted, go vote
I
now.
don't think I nudged another quarter of an inch out.
They both went at least an eighth.
Yeah, it's still smaller than a quarter inch, Andrew.
No, an eighth.
So
each
this
way.
looks really
That makes
big
over
here.
a
I think
quarter-
the
that's a
Gallant
quarter.
just failed to charge.
I don't think you made that.
Ooh, that's terrible.
I think I did. Do you want to D6 it?
Sure.
Steven,
Alright,
you
so
said
1, 2,
before
3, I
game
didn't.
that you were
Sure.
thinking Andrew
made it.
would
Alright.
probably pull this out. Are you still of that opinion? Because I'm still of
That's
my
right.
opinion that Nick's
That's a nudge.
Genestealer Cole is going to take this.
All right, so he's
Yeah,
there.
no, I think you went ahead and re-rolled the dice there, made the charge. But yeah, to your point, I think that this is actually favoring
No other
Genestealer right
charges?
now.
Okay.
Based on the objectives,
you got
I
enough
think that
to-
Andrew's going to go ahead and be able to score all of his
he's
secondaries.
gonna
He's
stomp
racking up engineerings. Butcher's Bill and Reaper, he's going to get that as time goes on. But Nick's also looking at his objectives,
will
behind enemy
first.
lines, Titan Slayer and Recon. Once those squads come in this next turn and start doing some damage to these knights,
Does the
I think there's
Belmont
going to
do
be a
anything in
huge
hand-to-hand?
swing towards Nick's
No.
points, and it's
Okay,
going to
so
be
he'll
hard
first
for
come into
Andrew to
here.
come back numbers-wise if he doesn't have the firepower left on the
Okay.
board to keep killing models.
Three's re-rolling everything.
However, time is always going to
That
play
many
into the
hits.
result of this game, so it'll be interesting if Andrew can get up far enough,
Twos,
and they'll be able to actually play to a turn
Yeah.
4
where
versus an
Nick
10.
can come back and gain the points. So maybe it's a
10
good time
minus
to
twos,
check
6 ups.
how the chess clock's going out.
2.
I was just
So
about
these
to
for your
mention that
damage, you
that
wanna just me to roll
if
them?
they
Sure.
don't make it to turn 6 because of
Just gonna pick
both
these up
of
for
them
Fill No
using up the
Pain.
clock, that could severely alter things.
Almost. Yes, he does it.
All right. So
Who do you
that's
think that would
2.
favor?
Let's see if it matter.
I think
So it's 2,
Nick
5, 6, 7,
actually
dead.
wants the game to go as long as possible because
Yeah.
this next
Yeah.
turn he's going to wipe out a lot of Andrew's power, and then
dead.
he just wants those free
Don't come
turns to
into
rack
the
up his behind
teleport.
enemy lines.
Tell
and
him
I
recon
think
to back his
Andrew's already
And
probably gained
I
more
want a thunder
secondaries than Nick has. Nick needs more time to catch back up
How
on
many wounds
those.
does the
So
Belmont have?
4. Now
Thunderstorming
you see
won't
here, it looks like Andrew actually only has
over
35
here.
minutes
18
left,
attacks.
and Nick actually has 59. I'm not sure how much they've been managing that clock there, but that's on the players to do. So we'll see
And
how this
I will
goes.
go first.
Yep, I
Yeah,
will
that's
not
pretty
mention
impressive.
anything right now.
Okay.
Andrew's certainly taken a lot
I'm
of
gonna put
time
them
this
all on this
turn,
squad.
just trying to think out the process. And granted, this is one of the most important turns of the game because it's the last turn he's going to be able to freely move
Who's re-rolling everything?
his knights around without them being too.
It's good to be a gallant, you know?
Now I got a question
Yeah, I missed
for
two.
the chat.
That many hits.
Do
Twos.
you
Should delete
think
the squad.
there is enough
Oh, but
room
no, I got 3
right
ones.
here
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
to
7,
put
8,
some
9, 10,
bikers?
No,
Okay.
I think
13.
yes.
That should kill the squad.
So
That's
that looked kind of like
11
Andrew's
right
gallant
there.
probably had
18
18
each.
stomps there. I wonder if for this game he gave it the warlord trait for the extra attack. It looked like either 11 or 13 went through.
Alright, and then, so there's 3. These were D3 each. Nothing. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 1 guy left. 7, 8, 9.
To Bilbo,
And this- what are these guys
he does
part of?
have 2
The whole
squads.
squad back here.
Oh,
So
that
one of
squad,
them
yeah.
could come in
Okay.
3 inches away, but
All right,
the other
here
one
we go.
would have to at least start 9
Just
inches.
that.
Maybe
He's
use
face to
the
face with this guy.
move
Okay.
D6 after if they want.
I'll just stay there then.
Okay.
I'm happy to stay there.
So you killed 2 units.
I killed 3 units. 2 units. I didn't kill this unit.
Correct.
I did not kill that unit.
So Andrew doing a fairly decent job on trying to spread out his knights here. I think that's
Do I
important
have
as
anything
well.
else?
You know, the further he can get them
Roman, you
apart,
killed 1. You
the
killed
harder
1.
it'll be for Nick
You got
to
butcher
kill all of
spell.
them
You got
as
another
fast as he
Cycling
wants.
engineer. Yeah. I got
Nick
another
will
Reaper
basically have to
on chat.
choose here, well, you know, whether
your
he
turn,
wants to
man.
consolidate his forces on killing the shooting power left, which is the Castellan and the tank commander, or come in and clear out the melee threat.
That was when you do the pain.
Yeah. I do not have one for behind enemy lines.
I'm sorry?
Said you not have one for
I
behind
think
enemy
that
lines.
one thing that
not
could
yet.
really hurt Nick is if he splits
this
what he's
guy's
got
just gonna
left
move
coming
out.
in and tries to do too
Gonna fall
much,
back.
and then
Okay.
you know the variance gets him and he rolls bad. That would be Andrew's ticket back into this.
So we're over here in this.
Yeah, that would not be a good
guy with his one
situation
running laser
if
just move
he
over
ends
here.
up with,
You're gonna get yourself
like I
a
said, there's basically 4 big relevant models on
recon,
Andrew's
aren't
side. If
Yeah.
he
Well,
splits
we
too
already
much and leaves
Yes,
3
right.
of them, I think that would be really bad for him. He wants at least 2 of those 4 things dead.
Go like this and this,
That's gonna hurt.
this,
It's gonna hurt a lot.
this.
But I really can't see that
Yes.
happening. Not with
Well,
Mental Onslaught also in the
Yeah, I think Mental Onslaught itself can finish off that Crusader there. I don't think Nick's gonna be too worried about that. He'll probably
6.
let that happen and then maybe just let the Gallant die over the
There.
next 2 turns, and I think he'll bring in
Guys
his
are-
bikers and whatnot over by the Castellan.
Thanks for the compliment, Tora Daddy. We're trying, even though we have not the greatest amount of knowledge of Genestealer cult.
Guys running. 8.
Yeah, you know, this Genestealer cult, as much as Andrews prided his list on being able to deal with hordes,
You guys are just
it's been
staying there.
very resilient, staying on the board and being able to actually reserve things to later in the
You guys
game.
are all dead.
I'm wondering if Andrew right now wished he had another Punisher commander tank
5.
or some other, just some more firepower, because he's, you know, with those less than average rolls from the knights, he's just not clearing these this horde out fast enough.
14. 15. 4. 8.
We do have 1 bike squad
12,
on the board.
16. 5.
Yeah, you know, I think they deployed
7,
last
8.
turn behind the temple, and now they've just swung around it to try to engage the.
Missing 2 orange guys here.
Okay.
I
I
did
didn't
not
take
see
'em.
those guys.
Cannot find
Yeah,
them, just gonna use these
they were
guys.
having a discussion on how fast they were able to
The
move
unit
and what
of-
last turn.
15.
No, this 16 and 10.
You got 2 units still out?
I have 3 units. I still gotta bring another more on.
Wow.
This is 10 neophytes.
I thought you only had 2 out.
No.
Okay.
Interesting thing, you can hear the discussion and actually maybe the shock of how many
First
Yeah,
yeah,
units
2 CP to
that
deploy.
Nick still
3
has
inches away.
off the board.
Right.
From
I think
Andrew.
at this point, Andrew was
Gonna hurt me,
probably
aren't
thinking,
you?
hey, man, I've
Yeah.
killed
You're
a
gonna take
lot
out
of
that guy.
models. You know, there's probably not too much coming on. And
Don't
you
hurt him.
hear the surprise in his voice when, Nick just said, no, I've got 2 more squads of neophytes as well coming.
That Punisher is my all-star.
I had the same
I'm
reaction
just
against
tired
my
of
first Genestealer cult
I'm
opponent.
just tired of
I
it.
must have maxed out Reaper, and
Yeah, he'll
then
probably kill it.
he still brought on like several more squads, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
These guys are gonna be.
Feel like you see there's bikes up next to Andrew's all-star unit, the Punisher. And as far as command points are concerned, I think we've got 1 command point
Well,
for
there must have been a one
Andrew,
at table number
and
3.
looks like
Yeah.
the glare
I don't
is
even
so
think half of them
bad.
showed up, though, is the problem.
What?
I don't even think half of
I
them
think
showed
6
up. They called it like
for
turn 1.
Nick.
Oh.
All right, psychic phase. Terrifying visions on the gallant.
Okay. No.
No. Okay. Mental onslaught on the gallant
Here we go.
goes off.
Okay.
What
does that do?
It's the mental onslaught. It's
Oh,
the same
mind
thing.
bullets?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one's a little bit different because I have another
Hey,
+1 leadership.
Okay.
So, instead of me rolling your leadership 9, otherwise if I had terrifying visions, it'd just be done, right?
Okay.
Here I think I'm 14, you're 9. Roll a 5. If I roll a 2, stop me
Yeah.
on a 6. So first one, no. 1 mortal wound, 2 mortal wounds. Nope. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe.
Got it.
God dang. So 6 mortal wounds on him.
Okay.
That was huge.
All I
Only
could do
6
was hold.
mortal wounds on the
Yeah.
gallant.
We're gonna smite it.
Not bad.
Okay. He's in trouble.
Goes off on a 9
Goes off.
for 2.
How are these
Okay.
other knight players
right
other
here.
than me
Okay.
so lucky?
Goes off on a 10.
Okay.
Another 3.
I'm down to 2.
All right. We'll go to shooting. We're gonna.
Yeah, I think the gallant had taken 13 wounds or so, so it's probably only got 4 or 5 left at
They
this.
can't. They fell back.
Got 2
that's
left
good.
right now. So
Sorry,
I think
this
Nick's going to
was
finish it off
supposed
in
to
the
be on
shooting
objective.
phase.
I don't
That's
know
fine.
Pretty smart.
Sorry.
I assume you wanted to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So they're not gonna bother with that. So we'll just start doing shooting.
Okay.
We're gonna do. We'll save. Actually, no. We're gonna do him first.
Okay.
The Kellamore. So the Kellamorph's got pistols. He's firing into the.
Okay. Staying in hand to hand.
Yep. The whites are the relics. All hits.
That's bad.
Sorry, 3 more.
He gets an extra 1 for each.
Actually, each hit.
Wow.
All right, so winning you on strength 4. I'm winning you on 6s. I
Yeah.
reroll wounds. Is the Primus.
That's pretty good.
So these 3 are -2. This is -1. 2 damage each.
3 at -2. Fail.
So 2 damage.
Unless I
Command point.
command point. No, I'll just die.
Okay.
Do we blow up? Nope.
Goodbye, night. That's 1 night gone.
All right. So the mine lasers. I got 2 here, firing into the.
And they're
down-
heavy, right? They moved.
I ignore that. I'm bladed cog.
Oh, okay.
So hitting on 3s. 2
Is
hits.
that why you bladed cog?
Yep. 1 wound. So AP minus 4, so 5 up.
Hold on. Do I AP minus 4?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my last rotate.
Okay. So you got 4 up pinball.
Bizarre Beast, I believe
No!
he's down
Goes
to
through.
1 CP, unfortunately.
1 damage. I'm gonna use a reroll.
Yeah, he actually just used it now.
For 3 damage. So,
Okay. 5, so let's go down to 14.
Yep. I got these 2 mine lasers at you. 1 hit.
They hit on 3s?
I gave you +1 to wound.
Oh, you no wound, not
+1
hit.
to hit.
Oh, you
Sorry.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he has. I don't have +1 to wound. So 1 wound.
Okay. Failed it again.
6 damage. The single mine laser.
Okay.
He hits. Not wound. And then I got the auto gun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
4, 5, 5. Rerolling 1s because the Kelemorph killed the knight. Looking for 6s. 1.
I want to kind of bring up
just 1 wound.
list building again here. It's easy to say, hey,
Fine.
Castellan's
Alright, so
really
we're gonna spend
good.
2
It's really
command
good at
points over
killing
there.
things.
For the +1 hit, +1
But you
wound,
take a list
5.
like this Genestealer cult list, and
onto the rest.
we weren't
Okay.
too familiar with it ourselves at the
That's
beginning of this
10,
match. But just look at how
17, 18,
versatile
so
it is.
5.
It can shoot, it can
10,
assault, it can cast,
What's
it
the
can
strength of these?
withstand
8?
firepower, it
That's
can go
bad.
second, it can redeploy. It's just got so much versatility.
Yeah, it should.
And when you match that with a solid player and a tournament player like Nick, you've just given a commander the option, the options and the tools he needs to win a game,
There was
going
another
first,
one.
going second, whatever it may be, picking the objectives he wants
Never
that
mind.
fits the match.
You
He's
can
not
get-
siloed
try
into
to
any
run
one
first.
play style and hoping that he just gets good matchups.
So 4, 7 wounds, AP minus 3.
I'm saving
Yeah,
on
from what
6s
little I've
only.
played against them, like I like GSC as an army.
Nothing.
They're
All right,
they're powerful.
might-
They
this should
give
do
you
it.
all kinds of
It should.
options. You can
14
do
damage.
all
3,
kinds of stuff with them.
6, 10, 16, 14, 12. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah,
One
let's
of
take
the
a
really
close-up.
nice things about the list is,
That's hold
He
on. Sorry, I
doesn't-
didn't mean to interrupt, but that's the Punisher just
These
died.
auto guns firing into this guy over here. 8.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
really
that's going to
big.
be big. But Nick doesn't necessarily
4
have a
hits.
key unit like a Castellan that if he loses it, he's going to just really be down. If you're playing in some guy's parking lot of guard
Sniper
tanks and you've
rifle
got a
here.
Castellan, that's your key component to kill
Hits.
his tanks. In a match like this,
Mortars.
um,
I don't think mortars are in range of those
you know,
guys.
Nick
No,
can
mortars are
lose
just gonna fire
any one
here.
of his units and still be in this.
9.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah, it
10,
reminds me of my old 7th edition Battle
20,
Company.
28,
There were
28,
games that I won
31,
without I killed
37.
2 or 3 of my
4,
opponent's units and just
8,
still won. 'Cause
10.
nothing in my list was important. There were no key
Absolutely.
components.
Yeah, you put those drop pods on objectives when they were obsec and you just win games.
10, and then 4 and 7. So hitting you on 4s, winning you on 6s.
Really, that's the way you take the sting out of these night lists. If you're tired of losing your Armigers, your Lehman Russes, or your other knights to a Volcano Lance, stop giving them targets to
wound.
shoot at. Just take a bunch.
worth it.
A list like Genestealer Colt, that
That's
Volcano Lance
Okay.
really isn't doing anything
All right, over
for
here,
Andrew.
we've got the
That is a
8,
lot of people's
10.
complaint with the
We're gonna
Castellan, though,
fire,
is that it does
14
sort of
shots and
make
one guy left.
making a meta
So,
choice to
5.
eliminate the Castellan's
Yeah.
targets,
Can't
which is
see the one guy
basically
left.
Oh,
anything
he's gone?
even
He's up
slightly
under here.
big.
Okay, fine. I'm just gonna fire everything
removes
into
Yeah,
the
them
if
from
you don't
with
have a 4-up
possibilities.
invuln
we're
capability,
gonna
you
fire the
just
big spot
you're
there.
not going to be able to take it
5,
against the Castellan.
10,
But
15,
that's the
16,
meta, right? That's what defines a
5,
meta. If people move away from
10.
that, and all of a sudden people are just taking, a whole bunch of Genestealer Colt 180 models or a bunch of one-win models with Storm Shields, no one's gonna, the value of that Castellan will fall, and people won't take it as much. It'll disappear somewhat, and then people will take other things, again like
For 4s.
kill shot predators or
1, 2, 3,
whatever
4,
you
5,
want
6,
to
7,
insert
8.
there.
8 in cover.
Yeah, it's
Storm
the
Surges.
ever-evolving meta puzzle.
5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 up.
Yep. And I'll fire the other squad.
So that would be 5 dead.
Okay, and then the other squad going at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds.
6 wounds.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're all in agreement. It does need to get nerfed, right? It's so much value packed into one thing, especially when you can take a list that can support with command points. But the thing is that if enough people are taking the exact same list, you know, the good players develop a counter that list, and that changes them.
Charges? Yeah. He's got 8 wounds left, right?
Yeah, I had to agree with when Brandon Grant was talking about it in a couple of his interviews after LDO. That the big problem with it was the amount of multiplier you get when you apply like a stratagem or a buff to the Castellan.
Oh, I got no Overwatch anyways. Doesn't matter. He's in. These other guys can go in 3, so they're in. Got it.
Well, you know, Germanic Horde, the kill shot predators, they would kill mid-tier and hordes better because of the amount of shots they have.
Okay.
But you're right, the Castellan's going to be better in that list at any time. Even if the Castellan's 800 points, it's going to be better killing armor. But my point was more that people can start taking models they wanted to take and not just have them erased.
So 3, 6, 7, 8, and we're using the flask. 9, 10. So make him strength.
But then you're getting into more of a
4,
conversation
6,
about, you know, truly
flask,
competitive
strength,
meta versus more casual RTT.
6. So make him strength 8. Give him 2 extra attacks.
You get +2 from the flask?
Yeah.
Wow.
2 attacks. And then his warlord trait is the other +1 and +1 attack. So that's the +1 strength. So he's gonna be strength 9. So 5s and 6s are extra hits. He hits on 2s.
Yeah, you're gonna do them.
So I've got 5 more hits.
So I was saying in this game
4 more out of those 5
Nick
hits.
wanted
Okay.
to
I'm winning you on
eliminate
3s
2 of
for
those
3
4
rolls.
big value targets this turn, and that should be good. And I'm pretty sure he's going to get 3.
All right. So this one is AP -6.
Okay.
3 damage flat.
That just goes through.
So then these are
Yeah,
all
I'm
AP
not
-3.
sure.
So
You know,
got
let's
3,
talk about, you know,
6,
what could Andrew have done
10
differently
moves.
in this game. You know, it seemed like he did as much as he
He did
could,
5s.
Yeah,
and
-3.
this was almost like an inevitable.
Still pretty good, but I don't think that's gonna matter. 4.
Yep.
3, 6,
That
9, 10, 11.
is a
I said
tough
I died.
call.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble
Blow up.
seeing
Yes, it blows up.
like any
Figures.
path to
That's why I have
victory
those
for
guys in.
Andrew, which is why I called the
Okay,
Genestealer call as
so,
the victor
point to a
early on,
unit.
'cause
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
I
speak
just
it over to
didn't
you
see
just
like
for
a
your
clear
stuff.
route for
All
the
right,
knights to
3
take
inches.
the.
All right, so pretty
Hey,
much
sorry to
these
interrupt,
guys.
but it looks like that
Okay, and
knight
them, yeah.
exploded
Okay,
as
so
it
this
left the
unit?
battlefield.
Yep.
So everything in
one.
range is going to take some mortal wounds.
Take one
This
here.
guy
The
Right.
patriarch will be
takes
fine.
5.
See, does he throw them off?
Nope.
He throws 3 off, so he'll kill this one.
Actually,
okay.
really
That's what
matters
you're
as
gonna
far
do
as
that
the
with mortal
order
wounds?
of
Yeah.
when the mortal
That is
wounds
so
are
cool.
initiated.
The big guy.
So that,
And he takes 2.
and
He takes 2. He takes 2.
He takes 2.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I think that Andrew
He will
did,
be
you know,
okay
as we
with-
saw last game, have a pretty
Next
good
one.
list to
Alright.
deal with most hordes.
This squad.
It's just that the
We'll take one
Genestealer
no
cult
matter
is
what.
so versatile and has so many threats built in. It's just going to
that
be hard to
squad-
remove.
One.
One.
Due to being able to pass wounds off like you see here, etc. That you know, it'd be interesting to see what Andrew brings up next. I think that next time you see him play at an event, his list will be
Kill 2
probably more
units
geared
there.
to fighting
it did.
Genestealer cult.
Maybe
That'll
it was
give me
not a
kill
now,
bad
what does
idea.
Andrew have left?
Yeah, maybe it was not the best idea for me to do that. But
He's
I
got a
don't know if I can
Castellan
really
and he's got
You had
whatever
to.
is left
You
in
had
that
to.
building over there.
But that gives me kill more.
I think the Wyvern is still
you
back
got,
there.
Yep,
hold
the
one.
Wyvern is still back
Hold
there.
more, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it should be on you because you just did all your mortal wounds.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe
And
that
you
as
killed
well.
something?
Bilbo
We both got 3
Baggins.
for the primary that turn.
6 mortal wounds the entire
but I've
game.
got
I'm
a
pretty
butcher's
sure
will 'cause I killed
Nick
2 in
has
your
had
turn.
Yeah, and I
more
maxed
games
Titans,
with more mortal
Call.
wounds dealt from
or
Melta
Titanic
Onslaught.
Slayer,
Oh, you certainly did.
and I got my 3rd point of recon.
Yeah, it's
Did you get
it's
your-
almost scary that
Where did you get your second
cut
one?
through those.
I had these
3
guys
big
all
value
lined up in here.
targets,
Okay.
And I
with
had them more over here.
Mental
I agree.
Onslaught doing way
I agree with
below
you.
what it probably should.
Right.
I'm very.
And I think that's what's
Yeah, so
so
you're on
crazy
your
about this
4th or 3rd
list
point in
is, you know, it
Birch's
has
Bell.
the tools.
Fourth. I
You
just
could
got
have not
fourth.
even had
Gotcha.
mental onslaught and still
And I've
basically
got. I'm sure I've got
done
all
what
4
you've
Reapers.
seen done.
You're close to it for sure. 6, 8 to 3, 6, 9. He's right now. He's
So,
got
do you guys think that we're almost on?
8,
You know, I think we are. But
11 on
what do you think
secondaries.
about the shift
I
of this
got,
meta? You know, it's easy to show up to like an RTT with a knight list
8.
and do well, but when you show up at events like this and you
9
see
on
like these orc
secondaries.
lists, these orc hordes, and these Genestealer
Right now
cult
he's up
hordes
by 3.
on these top tables, and just knocking out these knights without too much effort, really. Do you think that the meta really, you know, is
And you're
already
not
on the
gonna hit
verge
behind
of,
enemy lines again. You haven't got
you know,
it yet.
leaving the knights behind, or is it just such a gateway
seems like it was a bad
army and
choice
easy to
then.
play that you
Yeah.
know it'll just be a
I'll be
forever
surprised.
8th
I mean, I
edition
should
list?
be able to get it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Knights have kind of been one of those tier 2 gatekeeper
nobody needs
lists like
leadership.
the entire
Nope, he's the
time.
patriarch.
Uh, the only really strong
What's the
ones were the
toughness of these
ones
guys?
that
4?
had a lot of
Minus 1 to
presence
hit.
from
You
like
happen to see
guard and
my
such.
tape measure?
If you just stuck to pure knights, like I don't think you would like I've taken a couple RTTs with pure knights, but I would never expect to win a GT with them.
Yeah.
But I do think the GSE, the orcs, they are the strong
No, I
things
wanna make
right
sure I
now.
make this
At
charge,
like
you know what
the
I mean?
really big events,
Yeah.
they can cut their way through a lot of different matchups and actually reliably go 5-0, 6-0. The knights, they're just like really hoping for
You'll have to tell
not
me how
that
many are
bad
in each
matchup.
squad when we go.
Well, traditionally,
sure.
we've seen the stronger players with
3-1.
these knight lists.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Just take a Castellan, sometimes maybe include like a Gallant or a Lancer, but really more of like 1,200 to
Alright,
1,400 points of support, command points, etc.
That is my entire
And just
movement.
pay for the
Everybody's in,
Castellan for the
right?
anti-armor
Yeah,
capabilities,
Everybody's come
and
in.
have more models on the table, etc.
All right.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's a stronger list than like a
It'll
knights
be
list.
interesting, you know, when you remove, you know, if let's say the Castellan goes to
That's
like
gonna shoot
800
the unit
points,
that
if
has 3.
if the top tier players deem that
I
just
move
too
that guy
expensive
back
to
onto
fill that
this?
role, it'll be
Okay.
interesting to
Engineers
see how their lists
Alright.
adapt. If they, you know, continue to take the Castellan, if they put something else in
Yeah,
there, they
mighty
try to make
engineers work like that.
Crusader
That's why they're
work,
taking engineers.
or if they just kind of
Yeah.
abandon the Imperium soup for, you know, what it is right
I
now.
agree. Okay, so over here, 4d6 into them.
I actually avoided buying a Castellan because I figured at
8,
some
9,
point
10.
it would get punched. It just took a lot longer than I thought.
4 hits.
Yeah, I think everyone really thought that last chapter approved was going to be kind of the
Almost.
end of what it was.
5 ups. Feel no pain. 2.
1 survives. Heavy bolter.
But I do think, you
1
know,
hit. Wounds.
against this Gene
-1.
Cult list, you know, had you had one of those lists with just the
Nice.
Castellan,
Depth of
you've got,
5.
you know,
Okay.
3 Wyverns, some mortars maybe,
Good work, Wyvern!
and a lot more models on the board. Probably do a lot better against this match.
1 guy left there.
Yeah, that would have been a much better, much harder
I'm gonna
matchup
put
for the
my
Genestealer.
Volcano Lance and missile into this last guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Carl's Wrath into here. I'm gonna put the Meltas into there.
Okay. Into the 10-man unit.
Oh, how many units are there?
2 units.
Oh, where do they?
There's a 10-man and a 16.
Oh, wow. Okay, then I'll put. Where? Here?
This is a unit and that's a unit.
Hey,
okay, the
Cal
orange unit.
Thank you.
Gizri. I didn't see the name. Thanks for subscribing or following
I'm
the
gonna
channel.
put them into
We'll
the.
do plenty of 40K tournaments here this next season. Planning on going to
Into the
Midwest Conquest
16.
next month. Flying
Oh.
Monkeys the following month, and 2 more
I'll put 'em
in
into the 10.
July.
What's this?
The Top Guns. Or
Okay.
the Meltas into
Okay.
the 10. All right. So Meltas. All hit. 4 dead guys.
Invulnerables. 3.
3 dead guys. And they are not fearless.
Correct.
Okay. Call's Wrath.
-1 to hit on those guys.
Oh, is that a native
It's a
thing?
Native thing, yeah. Always
All
have
right. I'm gonna. How many wounds are they each?
it. 2.
2 wounds each.
Yep.
Toughness 4.
Yep.
They also have the feel no pain.
No. The feeling pain's over there.
But they have this. They don't have this 6-up feel no pain.
No. Correct.
All right. 7
7 shots in the mouth.
shots. Okay. So
If
I
you
don't need
guys
to
are
overcharge.
just joining
It doesn't
us,
help me.
this is the
Yeah.
top of turn 4 here at the Dallas
why I was
Open.
asking all
This
those
is the
questions.
final game, championship round.
But I missed on 3
Andrew
of them.
Ford, 21 points. Nick Rose, 18 points. It's been a really good game. This
that
last
many
turn was
-4.
really good for Nick. And I think, Steven, if you could take that away, I think you commented on a few minutes ago, but just reiterate for our new
You know what,
viewers.
I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, so we saw
Right.
entering turn 4, Andrew had all
this
3
guy's gonna
knights on the
shoot. No, I
table.
can't
He
see
had
it.
his command tank with the Punisher
Okay,
cannon.
the ones I declared.
On his turn 4, he really rolled kind of below average
turn
and didn't
3?
kill enough.
Number of shots, 3
Yeah,
on the
he didn't
bucking
kill enough
lance,
Genestealer Cult that he had hoped
2
to.
hits.
And we were anticipating
2 is
Nick's
-5.
anti-knight reserves coming in. So we were all kind of butt clenched for that moment. What
True.
you see now is the results of those anti-knight reserves coming in, clearing out the Gallant that was in the middle of the field on Objective 2 there. His Crusader was kind of over by Objective 6 to the north of the temple. It's gone.
That's fine.
His command tank was over by the Castellan to the left of that rune on the top.
6 shots.
It got taken out by the bikes. And we're basically just seeing here Andrew try to pull out the points he can to finish as high as he can in this event. It's been a great match. It's been really interesting seeing how the Genestealer Cult was able to basically be resilient through getting shot 3 turns in a row and come in and then within 1 turn just wipe out the majority of Andrew's list.
Wow, we don't get traits like your IG. Wow. Well, that is our trait.
Okay. Okay.
Andrew said wow
So I
again.
killed 1, 2. He has leadership.
Yeah, noting back to the secondaries, Andrew had engineers, so he was hitting that all game long.
Okay.
He's definitely
I'm not gonna
accomplished
bother, I'll roll them.
his Reaper and it probably his Butcher's Bill
10.
as well. So he's kind of been, his score reflects in there. You got to think he's probably got 10 to 12 points out of that.
Right there.
Whereas Nick had been waiting to capitalize on that Titan Slayer. He'd been scoring the recon all game, but now he's hitting up behind enemy lines. And now that the Titans are out of there, when we get his score update, I think you'll see Nick will probably go ahead a couple points, if not probably a half a dozen.
Yeah, he was
I think I
definitely
make it.
playing for the turn 3,
Oh, look, I
turn
make
4
it.
mold.
Yeah, I honestly think that's what really top-level competitive players
Unit of
do.
16,
They
and how
don't really
much is
worry
this
about the
unit down
first
to?
turns.
5.
First couple turns, they
5.
set
They have
everything up.
leadership 9.
Turn 1 and turn
They
2.
lost
The hammer
5.
hits 3 and 4,
On a
and they
5
tie up
to do
loose
something.
ends
That's not
on
good
4
enough.
on 5 and
I'm the
6.
same thing over there.
Agreed.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, when you can build a list that you
Okay,
don't
that's
care if you
bad.
go in
I'm
first
gonna
or
put-
second,
I've
you're
got
going to be
4
able to weather
stops.
5 rounds in a tournament much better than lists that are really relying on removing
I'm gonna
threats
put 2
turn
here
1.
and 2 here.
And especially when you build a list that can just sit around the board,
2 on the smaller
sit on
unit.
objectives, and force
Rerolling
your opponent to kind of
everything.
shoot your low point models with stuff like Castellans, you're going to be in the
That's more
positive margin
2s.
for the
Yeah.
objectives, in my opinion.
5 of bombs, 2 die.
Okay. Wow, that was pretty good on your invos.
Yeah.
And then into the other squad. Rerolling everything. 4. 3.
3 die.
Okay. Are they
They
different
can't-
from these ones?
They are, but they're practically the same. What do you
Okay.
mean by different?
No, but they got rolls to see if they saved, and they didn't.
Yeah, they're different because they're the cult. They're not.
That's why. Thank
that's
you.
why.
So, as tradition
Alright, you
has
got
kind of
leadership here.
followed, usually the most recent codexes are typically the most powerful ones. You saw Orcs came out, Genestealer comes out, is shaking the meta up. When Knights Codex hit, it was like, holy crap, all these relics and warlord traits.
Over here.
It's going to be interesting to see, when GW gets around to starting the process back over and coming back around on all the codexes and what they're going to do on this next round.
I am keenly interested in version 2 of Marine.
Okay.
It was enough. My go. So you killed
Yeah,
one.
and I think Grey Knights was the first codex, if I'm not mistaken, of 8th edition. It'll be interesting. They tried updating a lot of the points and fixing some of that, but there's some just core issues with Grey Knights. We'll see if that'll again be the first codex they release of this next iteration, and if they actually follow suit. It seems like every other, or maybe every third codex is actually a really powerful one,
Right now.
and not all of them, follow that
I'm a ways
line.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
move
some of
these
them
guys up
have
like this here.
inherent
Notice how I ran
design
away from
flaws
you.
in their
Yeah, I know.
strategies that don't work in the
Him.
rule set. Like,
14.
I blame my Blood Angels a lot for having,
Wow.
they want to use close
fast does he move
combat
base?
support
8.
characters like chaplain
That's pretty
style
fast. That
characters and
gets him
things
there.
like that,
Awesome.
and the rule set just doesn't help them out much.
Dies 1.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how long this Castellan can continue to hold the door here in this game, but I think it's inevitable the ending at this point. We'll try to get a score update
He's never there.
through Jason at some point.
Yeah,
probably
it
when
is-
this turn.
It is definitely bottom of turn
8, 9, 10,
4.
11 because the +1 advance. There.
Score right now is 21-18 in favor of Angel.
11.
How's that
here.
clock looking?
Let's take a look.
There, I need a big roll on him.
Sorry,
9.
too far. I got
I'm
excited
gonna
with
guess
the camera.
that it's heavily favored towards Nick. I don't think Andrew's been doing
Here.
his best at
Clock management.
controlling his time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
we've got
now,
37-49 for Nick, and we've got 21-29 for Andrew.
Yeah, Game of Thrones releases tonight, doesn't it? That's exciting.
Yeah, I threw my reference in there. I don't know if you caught it.
Hey, for those of you guys watching right now, what codexes would you like to see redone?
Step over me. I think that's
Aside from the
okay.
Chaos
Yeah.
Codex, we're
we
not
never
going to
did the
do a
3 inch.
Chaos Codex 3.0.
Consolidate
With
with these
another
Blood
guys-
Angels.
Well, I based this unit.
Yeah. These guys.
You know,
just
Blood
like
Angels is an
that,
interesting
so-
one because it's like the stratagems have been super strong. You know, allowing the Smash Captains to basically be prevalent in almost every Imperialist soup. But as a when you're now talking about ITC doing single faction lists,
I
you
thought
know,
you
it'd
were
be
going
hard
to.
to take a pure
I thought
Blood
about
Angels
it, but I
list
kinda need the points.
and
Okay.
get the next 1,000 points out of it being
You've gone
competitive
through
outside
so
of
many points.
whatever jump pack Thunderhammer units you have.
Yeah, I basically run Captain
2
Hammer
left.
and the Librarian
All I got.
Dreadnought, and then almost everything else I put into my Blood Angels
what? I
list
already
just feels
have-
subpar.
You had the
I've
Rex,
actually,
it
in
doesn't
some
matter, like, I
RTTs,
think
I've been
that-
taking a 10-man Vanguard veteran squad with Storm Shields and
These guys
Thunderhammers
are actually gonna move up closer.
on 7 of them.
Okay.
Those are pretty
And
good.
you can-
Move up like this way.
Yeah, you can use
Right.
every stratagem you can
and
use
I
with a
move
Smash
them around
Captain,
in
except
front.
you can boost it up to like 42 attacks with Thunderhammers. It's pretty.
I think that's all I got. These mortars are gonna start moving. 5, 6. Actually, we'll just go out from here. So 7.
Okay.
We're leaving 1 squad back.
Okay.
So
Sitting on the objective, probably.
yeah. Down there. All right.
I wonder how
Go to
our
second
second
phase,
table's
we're
doing
gonna
right
onslaught.
now. You know, you mentioned that you favored the Eldar to actually win the tournament. I wonder if you want to
Check into about that.
recap on that scenario for our view.
Yeah, for anyone
we're gonna do
who
the
didn't hear me at the
+1
start of this game,
off the
the table 2
That
players,
unit,
both of them were tied on
we're
battle
gonna
points, and they're
move,
only
move,
about
we're gonna
3
shoot
points
phase.
behind these table 1 players.
10.
So if the table 1 players
But
kind
he is
of
the
punch
same
each
one that
other
you used
out
before,
and only have
or
a
did you not
20-ish,
advance before?
30-ish point victory, and one of them
That doesn't matter
comes
either way.
out with like
Yeah,
a
you used the same one
almost
you rolled the
40-point
first time, if you
victory,
did.
they're going to win the tournament
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
table
I didn't
2.
roll, though.
Okay.
And
So
so
this
my
time you do?
prediction was
Yeah.
that the Eldar player was going to beat the
you're
Thousand
definitely
Suns
gonna
with a high point
Blind enemy lines this time.
victory and
Yeah,
take
I'm not
home
gonna
the gold.
Kill anything. Nope. Well, I guess I could fire the 1 unit. But they advanced.
Trying to get a
You know,
close
one
up.
of the
I do have these 2 guys
things
that
that
Which
you know
I should
people
kill
were
off with
mentioning
Roger
is
Bergman.
just how the Castellan has completely invalidated almost any vehicle from the game that doesn't have an
You got 2
invulnerable
shots.
save. And you know, I've never actually used the Kill Shot Predator unit with 3 of them.
Of course,
I just kind of mentioned it
can't do
earlier.
much about that.
But if you saw the LVO results, you know, one of the final 8 players was actually using
Rifle, just gonna
Goleman
shoot
with
into
3
that guy.
Predators
Hits.
and 2 repulsor tanks. I mean, none of the vehicles in his list
And,
had an invulnerable
that's it.
save, but he was just keying off of using
So-
stuff like Strength 5 spam, rerolling hits,
You gotta
rerolling
kill
wounds with
something.
Goleman, and just annihilating
and
people with
I,
that. I mean,
You hold something. You
a
got
Strength 5 shot, rerolling hits and
Correct.
wounds against a Knight is still going to be, you know,
But I have recon,
a wound
so
on
you
a
got
3-up
recon.
-1.
Max recon.
So if you have enough of those shots, you're going to basically kill a Knight without even needing Strength 9 plus in your
Now it's
list.
turn 5.
Correct. Your turn.
Oh, we got that combat.
Yeah,
but I
someone
could-
was, someone was
4,
telling me
8,
that his
12,
matchups, they were following that
14,
Ultramarines
15,
list at LBO, and that
16,
his
so that's
matchups
game
were somewhat favorable. Also, he didn't quite make the top 8. He was knocked
Was
out
he
in the
ninth?
ghost round.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 wound.
Yeah, you know, a lot of events really come down to how your matchups go. You know, if you got a list that's built very well rounded, but you've got one vulnerability and you never face it,
No problem.
it's just the luck of the
I don't think
event.
either of
But
us are gonna run out.
yeah, I did think that
Yeah, I
list
don't
was
think so
very
either.
interesting because even if you were playing against a Castellan, and you
right,
kill
that
shot at
many
that thing
hits.
with those 5 vehicles within the bubble of
News.
Goldman, you're more than likely going to get through those 3 up and
All
rolls.
same squad.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I played in a Giant Apocalypse 2-day game here in town, and I brought 3 Predators with
7,
Dante and a
8.
lieutenant
Don't
standing
need a
near
leadership.
them,
Yep.
kill
leadership
shotted,
9,
and our opponent player who had just like 10,000 points of knights.
8,
I
2
killed
more.
like 5 knights over 2 turns.
Hey, Bilbo, thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.
So I
You killed more, you hold 1.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I killed more.
you've definitely got to find a way. I definitely am not recommending taking a bunch of what would be trash models against like a Castellan. But when you've got something like Goleman, which is definitely expensive, I guess all I'm saying is anything strength 5 and above can become good when you're rerolling his and wounds.
He's up by 2 on me. I'm having a hard time just getting to kill stuff. So. This is the.
You know, it's
case where
interesting
I
how
feel
much of a
GSC are
fight
just
this
not
Castellan's
good.
putting up here.
'Cause,
I'm
like, I
kind
can't
of
take a
wondering,
beating.
had he just thrown that Crusader or the Gallant, you know,
And
one of the
he,
two
like,
down
blocked
there
me out
as
pretty
a
well.
distraction and ran everything else
Once that
back
happens,
this
that
way,
army just sucks.
you
falls
know,
apart.
how much better he'd have fared if
Hey,
he
Steven,
still
hold
had.
on 1 second.
Huh? Oh. I mean, it's the fundamental problem with GSC.
Yeah.
And once people know how to play them, they just fall apart.
Just fall apart. Yeah, you just blocked you out of, or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that was pretty impressive, taking out 2 knights in 1 turn.
Yeah, but like it took me too long to get there.
Yeah, that's true.
And the thing is like even in an ETC or ITC format, I give up so many points.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, I just want to let you know, Matt, Root, and I are in the boat of making Reaper 30 models instead of 20. So we are fighting that fight for you.
all right, shooting. Need better secondaries in general. Pick your poison's horrible.
So I think the conversation going on here is kind of that
Pick your poison's not very
Andrew
good.
has gotten so far ahead, being able to
This is
accomplish
character.
his secondaries
Yep.
easily
They're all
early
characters.
on,
Yep. Sorry.
and Nick's trying to catch up still,
This guy's putting everything
and he's
into
having
that
troubles
unit.
getting in a
All right?
position to finish that Castellan.
The unit of 5 guys, right?
Yep. I'm gonna spend +1 for their save.
You are.
So kind of back to what I was saying, you know, had he actually just sacrificed one of those 2 knights when he
So I'll have a
charged
3 up
in
save.
and pulled the other one back to where the Castellan is, I wonder how much different this game would be had the, you know,
They
the
have,
Wounded
four
Crusader been
start?
back there with the
Well,
Castellan,
that's
etc.,
secondary
still
on them.
firing away.
Oh, that's why.
That's why the pink card's there.
In
Thank you.
hindsight, that may have been a better move.
Being on 5s.
Yep.
You know, he could have even used the knight, like the Wounded Crusader, to block off the tank from getting assaulted, wedge the tank in between the Castellan and the Crusader. You know, either way, he could have still had 2 of those 4 big units alive.
Hey, it's we got a turn 5 update. This is the top of turn 5. 26
guy.
points for Andrew, 24 for Nick. It is definitely very, very
We're gonna go
close.
melt this here.
But like Nick was telling me just a few minutes ago, Nick feels like the Genestealer cult army is running out of steam. Kind of very
Yeah.
similar to what the
Those are all
orcs do.
characters.
Yep.
It's very interesting. You know, you've got 2
Elbows
top
and
tier
rockets
tournament
here.
players here. These guys travel all over in their play. They're not going to sell themselves short here. It'll be interesting to see how they finish out this game. There's still a life to it yet. You know, Andrew's positioned himself
Here.
throughout the beginning of the game to have enough points to try to hold on here. And, you know, we'll tune in and
That's
see
the
if
squad over
Nick
there.
can go ahead and
Okay.
actually
Can I see that? No,
jump
I can't.
forward in points as he finishes this out. He's got a lot of
All right.
objectives.
Jason, do you happen to know, is Andrew maxed out
Melt this.
on all his secondaries, and is
Why don't I
Nick
roll a- No, that's
how much
impressive. That's
more
impressive,
points
wasn't
can
it?
Nick
On a
grab on his?
6-sided die.
I'm
That would
pretty
be
sure
3 at
Andrew's
minus
maxed out
6
Butcher's Bill
million.
and Reaper.
die.
This being turn 5.
Kill one. Can't stop
As
that.
far as engineers, I
uh,
don't know if he has any more
Both red, and the
engineers. I
top
believe he
guns
has maybe
here.
2 or 3 points for engineers.
Yeah.
Nick has, I believe,
Wow.
0 points for behind enemy lines, or maybe
Three
just
hits.
a couple for recon, and I
-4.
think he maxed out Titan Slayer. Does that
Top
sound
gun.
about
Yes.
right, guys?
He's definitely max Titan.
All hit. All wound. 4 at -1.
Yeah, I
So
would think
fours.
he'd probably maxed
Dies.
recon as well by now too. But
kills.
behind enemy lines can be tricky because it takes a while to get.
And the volcano launch
Yeah,
was
I
over
agree.
those
Behind
guys
enemy
over
lines isn't.
there.
It used to be really good until I read
shots.
the whole mission,
hit.
where it has to
wound at
basically
-5.
survive
That's why.
your opponent's
Right.
turn in to be count as a behind enemy lines.
Yeah,
point.
it's harder to get now that most armies can't get behind enemy lines until the turn 2, and then you're not scoring it till turn 3, unless you're using a lot of redeploy stuff where you can actually move turn 1. It's hard to actually get all 4 points.
That's 3 I've taken. I'm counting.
Yeah,
up for
anytime
now.
I look at the secondaries
And,
behind
look at
enemy lines,
Yeah.
just looks like a really bad idea. Even when I have like half my
Okay.
Blood Angel army deep
3,
striking.
5, 6.
Yeah, I've actually been using it almost every game, but I'm using have my army's Raven Guard moving pre-game, then I've got Blood Angels moving turn 1, I've got Grey Knights moving turn 1, so my entire army's in your deployment zone turn 1. But other than that, it's not really going to work
All
out.
right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
3 doesn't hit.
3 doesn't hit.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
Is that 2 wound now?
So with his
Those to
current
hit.
points in mind on his secondary,
All right. 9.
I'm thinking
9.
that Nick
They'll
will
die.
probably
They die. I mean, we know they're
you know,
gonna
score
die.
a kill,
I was just you
hold
jumped ahead, I was
one,
like,
hold more,
sorry.
and probably grab another recon
killed
point. So he's probably going to catch up on the points after round 5, and then he'll probably pull ahead round 6. It's going to be really close, though.
I don't think I can really stop this, which is really kind of
Yeah, I do agree, Weird Hog. It is very balanced now as opposed to what it used to be. And yeah, does Andrew still have anything left besides the Castellan? If not, it might be hard for Nick to score that kill
Yep,
unit.
I think you are.
So what I'm
No,
going to
that's
here,
actually it, I believe.
Oh, and kill him. Ooh.
because I'm going to be able to shoot him.
Do you have to be able to see him?
Yeah, he's a super
He
tall
doesn't
knight.
have like a company
Yeah, but-
commander or something
From
back
the
there.
window.
Sure. You
Yeah.
can.
So I'm
Sure.
going to do like that.
Okay.
Let me
But you
take a
advance,
look
right?
around.
I can charge after I advance.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Well,
if Andrew can get
But that
hold
doesn't
1,
matter.
kill 1, and Nick
Yeah.
can't kill anything and only get hold 1, hold more, you're pretty much at a stalemate here in objectives.
Yeah, that's it. All he has left is the Castellan. It's definitely interesting. We could have some
Now-
huge point swings here in a little bit.
Yep, Nick's definitely got to try to get this behind the enemy lines point here. He really needs that extra swing.
and I got 1 for behind enemy lines.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, he just needs to flood dudes into the deployment zone and grab enemy
And you get
lines,
the max
Right.
recon.
more.
Yeah.
Now, what's the bonus here?
In there.
Let me
Sorry.
look that up. It's mission 5.
Was that the one
Bonus
where you have to
if-
like contest all 5?
If the player controls
You're gonna be hard
both
pressed, I
objectives they
think.
placed.
Yeah, I mean like
On the
I can't
table.
Really, you get
Oh,
up
that
here.
one.
Okay,
I
so
can't stop you from getting kill more, which is just annoying.
and what you
right.
place 1 in your opponent's deployment zone and 1 out of yours.
Correct.
So I'm going to assume the one he placed in Andrew's
range.
zone is 6 over there at the
Nope.
top of the middle
It's in
table.
range with this guy, though.
How about here now if I move 6?
Yes.
Okay. We'll remove these guys 6.
Okay.
I mean, it's
This,
definitely
this
very
again
close.
goes back to favoring
What about
Nick
these guys?
when we're talking about these kind of
They
things.
won't even get it at
Nick
6.
is bottom of the turn, so he's able to do
Advance,
things like jump on those objectives and not get removed until the
They
next.
didn't advance as much as they wanted to, but you could spend a command point.
No.
You
I'm
could.
Good. I think I'm good.
So one
All
thing
right,
I wanted to
second
bring up
phase.
earlier is
If we get
Nick
this,
has had ample command
mental
points throughout the
onslaught.
game. He's kind of
What's up,
down to
what's
his
up?
last
Okay.
few here, if not his last one.
But what's your
Andrew,
leadership
you know,
now?
decided to spend
I
a
still
lot
have
of command
everything there,
points on
so
things like
I'm
Warlord
at
traits and
14 right
relics. You
now.
saw Endless Fury on the
14.
Crusader.
What gives you that?
You saw
Explain
his
that.
commander having the
Him for +1,
the
him
pistol
+1,
from
him
Valhallan
for
to
+1.
ignore
They
morale.
all get
You know,
+1.
he
They're all
more
as close as
favored
they have to
the
be, though.
early
This should be
turn
6 inches.
and
Okay.
pre-game command point spend, whereas Nick has
That's
been
it.
able to spend them throughout the
So
game
that's
on, you
+1.
know, whatever he
So what's
deems.
his basic?
10.
10.
So that's why we get to 14.
And he gets +1 base
Yeah, for the BRB.
for the.
The basic rulebook one.
Oh, because you did
Leadership, yeah.
Okay, got it.
So that's
I
why.
am
So your
usually
leadership
a fan
9. So I
of
just need
spending my
a
CP
2.
on
2.
relics
Yeah.
and traits,
You get 3.
just
And I-
because
Yeah,
over
'cause you
multiple
can roll
turns they
6.
can keep doing
Yeah.
things
Yep,
instead
I'm
of
14.
I
If
spend
you
2 CP for
Hey,
a
I don't mean to
3d6
cut you off,
charge.
Mike, but here's
First one's a
Mental
6.
Onslaught again.
Second one's a 1.
Pretty.
Nope. 6.
Let's see
3
if
roll
the Ninth
wounds.
Luck holds out here.
I rolled a 1. Nope.
Hold on. Oh no, I don't have any more.
Yep. 6. Cocked. 2. So you need a 5 or 6.
Nope.
True.
Wow.
Try again. See if you need a 6.
Nope.
Nope. 6. 1. I'm gonna spin my reroll for that. 2.
Nope.
So that's 4, 8, 10 so far.
Okay.
11. 12.
This might be
Nope.
it.
13.
Nope.
Nope.
Wow.
2.
Nope.
How many are left? 4, 8, 10, 15 so far. He's got 10 left.
Yeah.
Next one, 3. So you just, no, you can't block it.
So that
3.
Castellan must have, you know, been at 25 wounds when
for
it
6.
started. But
Nope. 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 Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope. Nope. I
if
think
this
that's it.
solos a Castellan, that's probably the most broken thing I've seen
3,
in Warhammer
6,
40k.
8, 10, 3, 6,
That
9,
was about
10.
how
That's
I
20.
felt when I watched my
26,
gallant half die to it the
27.
first time I saw
I'm
it.
dead.
All right, yeah.
I don't blow up.
Well, yeah, I think
Yeah.
the
Well,
final
that's a
table
stupid
just
rule.
got decided by a single
That's
cast.
the player with the Castellan.
That is a very stupid rule.
Wow.
Okay.
That is
I'm gonna charge there.
incredible.
I've got.
You can't overwatch.
Okay. Never
With
mind.
him.
You're in.
11.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you
2,
that
4,
Andrew's
6,
probably going to petition
6.
his state
Yep.
representative
hang
to
on.
talk to Games Workshop after this about that psychic power.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know
Okay,
how deadly that is, we should just show them a clip
Roll
of
wounds.
this stream. I mean, 25 wounds
So
in one
3
psychic
damage and
phase.
then 5, 6 up saves.
25.
Great damage.
Oh
Just play-
my
Yeah,
God.
5,
Well,
6 up saves.
you know, I agree, Germanic Core, but I think the thing here is that a Castellan is a 640-point model, and he just got
3,
25 runes removed without interaction, no saves allowed, nothing by one single psychic spell.
If he blows up. Yes.
From like a 100-point model.
Yeah.
Check 2.
All right, I forgot.
You know, it's one thing if you're bringing in like a 140-point shield captain or smash captain, but you're using like 8 command points to do it. You know, you're spending
Well, at least I
resources.
killed more.
But that just happened without really ever having
You
to
can kill
spend
more,
command
you can
points
kill
or
one,
anything. I
hold
mean, he
more.
spent 1 for the reroll, but
I would have my 3rd behind enemy lines, so I'm gonna be at 11. You're gonna be at 12.
This gives you your second.
Yeah,
behind
and
enemy
like
lines where I
Smash
gave it to
Captain
you.
has a lot of
I
points
should
of
have 3.
failure.
Nope.
That
This is only your
that
second
mental
time
onslaught, especially when
No.
you
Here at the
have it
beginning,
set
yeah.
up
One
and they have
for these
negatives and it's
guys.
almost a certain
2 for over
thing.
here.
No,
It
that
is
was not. This is not
it
behind
is
enemy lines. It's my
outrageous,
deployment
and
zone.
you know the character who
There
has
were
it
still the guards in
is
there
surrounded
early.
by a bunch of little dudes
Not
with
even. It was the only time
unquestioning
you did,
loyalty,
when your-
so like
when
you
your
can't
guy
even
finally
like
got to here, you
snipe
were in
them
my
out or
deployment zone.
anything.
This is not in my deployment zone.
Oh wow.
yeah, you know, the one thing I will say is that, you know, you'll probably see Andrew with some sort of psychic deterrent in his list in future events. That's really the one thing he's missing.
Yeah.
A lot of people will try to bring, a
I wish we had
Calexis
called
or
that
at
out
least some
earlier
sort of,
when we deployed Andrew, because that would have been
a way to
different.
negate
I
that.
thought you understood that.
no,
Sorry.
because I said it in behind enemy lines and we scored it.
And I said the most
not
you're going to
saying you're
get is, the most you're going to get is 3, which you'll get one next turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's
My turn.
yeah,
Clock me. Last turn, right?
yeah. So I'll have max of 3 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you have a max
So
of
is
3.
there
Okay,
another
we're
turn
saying the
here?
same
I
thing.
don't think
Okay,
Andrew
yeah.
has any models on the board.
You're counting it for next turn already.
Correct, because I can't get anything else.
Then
So
we're
it's 11
all
and 12.
agreed.
Yes, I'm just like, wait a second.
Then we're all agreed, man.
3. So you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
Looks like Andrew still has some infantry back there on the.
Well, I
other
want to
bridge.
try to hold one, right?
Yeah,
Or not get anything killed.
correct.
And you're not getting anything killed, you can advance and still do your
Yep.
psychic crap, right?
One of the things that Ultramarines list had that I was mentioning is
So,
it
I
had
guess
just
I'm
one
probably
unit of
better
Black
off
Templar
staying here, aren't
scouts,
I?
which allows him to use the Black Templar stratagem to negate a psychic power on a 4-up. That's a pretty good deturrent for something like that.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard
I am. I
that's
think I'm
a
better off
good
staying
option.
here.
I just
Yep.
don't want to paint
Well, hold on.
5
Unless
scouts
I run
black.
to the corner.
Well,
Can you
it's
walk
pretty
down the
quick.
objective?
Yeah.
And you need to be on the objective. You got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 2, 6, 2, 5, 10, 12. Basically going to be at 27, maybe 11. Sorry, 12 plus 11.
I'm just still can't believe that Castellan
6,
just
8,
died
10,
to.
This is you.
13. Yeah, so I'm at 13
So
plus
that-
11.
Yeah, we had 2 sort of whiffs from the.
What was that, Mike? You cut out.
He was just talking about how earlier in the game, there was 2 attempts to cast that same power. They both whiffed.
I think you're going to get
And
me, Nick.
this was retribution
Yeah,
for
I should
the
get you by
power
1.
finally coming
You should
through.
get me by
full
1. Pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard the players,
Pretty
but
close.
the game's going to come down to 1 point.
How fast does he go?
8
Yeah, that sounds about
plus
right.
2 for advance.
What a
Yeah,
great game,
Andrew
guys.
is probably wishing right now that the Castellan had been the last model on the table, so it would have just ended with.
Plus 2 for the advance? Yeah. So you're to here before you even charge.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
before you
without
even
the
advance.
D6, yeah.
Before you even advance.
So I can advance after my charge. So I'm gonna get there no matter what.
You are.
And then I had the plus to charge because the canvas too. And I didn't technically take my 3-inch move either.
So
but
chat's
whatever.
definitely, talked about ways
be over
that
there.
Andrew could have
will.
dealt with that. He, saying shield breaker missile into the character. I think that
We
that
just
could
did
have
the
been
resolve,
passed
but I never
off
bothered
onto
moving
the wins in the squad,
Right.
though.
Okay. I'm going to.
If I'm not
advance these guys.
mistaken. Another thing, had he had the command points, he could have used the stratagem to ignore the mortal wounds on a 5-up, but you can only use that so many times before you're just out of command points.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Guys
sure
gonna
the
advance?
unquestioning loyalty is to pass off wounds or whatever, so the missile he wouldn't care about.
He's going to order both himself and this guy to move.
I mean,
So
aside
how-
from
Right.
adding a
So I
Calexis,
need
I don't think a
a green
Calexis
or-
would have done much to
So I'm
prevent that,
guessing-
because
I
that's a
didn't take my
24-inch
3-inch move
psychic
in the
power. Calexis is what, a
Consolidate,
12-inch range,
so.
right, to deny
that,
psychic
and then-
powers?
Yeah, I mean, the Calexis just makes your psychic powers negative to cast, and then on top of that, I think you get a deny. But
All right, so
even
let's
just
do
any
this.
deny at least gives you a chance to try to stop it. But that being said, that was the 3rd time he cast that
14.
power. You basically have to
No,
eliminate
not
the
with
source
it.
at some point, or he's just going to keep casting it every
we're
time.
gonna advance with those guys. 'Cause we have
He
shotguns.
unfortunately does
Okay,
not
fine.
give you a denial chance. He just gives the -2 to cast.
Yeah.
What's their weapon skill? Ballistic skill?
4.
4, so -1.
Yeah.
I do miss the 7th edition Kulexis that made casting near him basically impossible.
Yeah, the 7th. You know, it is interesting
12 inches. Okay.
how the Kulexis is. You know, it's enough to stop a lot of things, but I don't know.
No.
It's easier to deal with now than it was in 7th.
He'll go 13.
I also really liked how in 7th the Kulexis also, you know, shut
is a better
your
move for
own
me.
casting down. You know,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
disagree.
times you might not be thinking about that and put one of your own psychers in the bubble and then screws.
He does that now that he's in the White Dwarf Codex. They
Nope.
fixed that wording on him.
Did they? So it's a -2 bubble for any casters.
These
Yeah,
mortars are gonna be
even
reaching
though
my
in the
legs.
index it was just enemies.
Yes, they are.
These guys gonna be in range? Nope. So I move 6. That's
Yes.
54. Okay. So we're gonna move them. Okay. Tank this back here. Okay. So 6.
So I think at this point Andrew's just trying to deny a kill one to Nick, trying to
This 54
run these
in
infantry.
range of if the mortars. If I move
Yes.
6.
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna move these guys 6. Okay.
Well, you
I'm
had to
only
go.
gonna
You
get
had to go
one.
around the corner though.
Yeah, I'm only gonna get one mortar. Right?
Where's your there? Yeah, you're in.
Okay.
One mortar's in.
All right. He's not measured with 18 or anything, right?
Doubt.
He's trying to make them
All right.
draw.
So I think
make
psychics
neither of
doesn't
them
really
look-
matter.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Actually, we're gonna do psychic stimulus on these guys.
Oh. My time's been running on your turn.
All right, that's fine. We get it off. We perils.
That would definitely make
Ooh,
my
3 moves.
predictions
Whoa,
come true.
perils right there.
Who did?
Green guy. Fine.
Yeah.
They just can
Just
charge
took a
after
couple
advancing.
wounds.
That's all.
They can.
They can.
That's bad.
I'm gonna try. We'll see. We are going to first
Yeah,
fire.
did he pass that test on
these 3 mortar.
Perils
I'm gonna
on
fire
2
the one
ones,
mortar
right?
out
And then he
onto
said
that
he
guy.
still passed the test.
1 shot. 5's to hit.
I thought
1
it was
hit,
2 6s.
1 wound.
Oh, was it? Okay.
On
Same.
on my
Good.
screen it looked like 2-1.
We're gonna
but
fire
it's
these
kinda
3
blurred.
mortars that moved into that one guy. 8, 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11.
So this is 2 separate units over here
Needing 5.
that Andrew had.
Correct.
These. 5 wounds on that
It's
one
really
guy.
going to come down to whether these
Yeah,
bikes
you
can
should
make
do
their
it.
charge roll or not.
That does it.
Okay, so that's gonna give me kill more, hold more, and everything else. So
Yep.
this guy, it just kind of we'll go through the motion.
He's
but,
mood. It doesn't matter.
Well, I guess that's already. You only need
You
to
can't
kill
get anything
one.
extra for him.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
So I'll
All
get
right.
5 there.
he's already got the 2
Puts me
points.
to
From,
29 to 27.
you got 5.
Yep.
Yeah, you do. You get the bonus.
Yep.
I got nothing this turn.
wow.
Yeah.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 on the top. Is that what you have?
Correct. And then 11 on the bottom for 29.
And 11 on the bottom, which is 29. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on
Looks
the top.
like I picked the
And
right
12
horse.
for 27.
Yeah, you know,
12 for
you know,
27. Good game.
this was really an interesting
good game.
game. You know,
Good
just
game.
by our commentary,
Oh,
I think
that
we
was a
all
very
kind of
good
just
game.
thought the game
I
was
thought I
more
was
than
definitely
over
gonna lose it,
once
to be honest.
I thought you
Nick
were going to
had,
lose it
you know,
too, but
eliminated the Gallant
I made a
Crusader
mistake.
and
Maybe
the
I came out
tank.
too early with these
And then,
guys.
you know, a little while later, Nick was
Oh, hey.
kind of going through his thought process.
I mean, I think it's going to depend on them.
Well, that's true. Somebody might leap you, right?
Did you have Sims, Jason?
Yeah, because we ground each other down.
Yeah.
Good game, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was
they
a
were
great game.
definitely running out of victory points to score when Nick still needed
Yeah.
to
Great
catch.
game.
Nick
we have
kind
to
of
go
almost
big,
was
go
going through
low.
his thought process of, wow, this might just, you know, this is going to be hard to finish. And Andrew was still really in the game, and then, you know, that psychic power just came full force and grand slammed that Castellan off the board.
Yeah, my back is
But
going.
really a close game
Yeah.
all the way until
Yeah, it
turn
might be a good
6.
idea.
I'm glad we
That-
got to
that
turn
applies
6.
That was a tough game.
Yeah.
Just an
I don't
interesting and great
I don't like,
matchup
winning
for a
game
final
by
table.
one.
We'll see whether they got enough
Well, that
points
was
on
what
the
it
on the
comes down
board
to.
compared to the
You know,
table
if-
2.
And
All right, guys, we're gonna interview these players real
if I
quick,
didn't get so lucky on some of my saves early on,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll get
I mean,
their
it's
take
probably
on things.
Fair.
Cool.
Ruben Fernandez.
You got a second, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
real
want
quick
to
talk.
ask Andrew, what he thinks about that psychic power.
You got a model right there. Okay, so I'm first of all, Andrew, this question's dedicated to or geared towards you, and I didn't ask this, but it's your good friend Steven Heitmeyer asked this.
Yeah.
He just wants to get what's your reaction to that psychic power?
Yeah, I think that definitely needs an FAQ change. There either has to be that either has to be a ceiling, or because if you don't kill him, or if I roll a little better on one of those rolls, I win.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna win.
yeah, but the thing is like that power is also really hard to get off. There's a lot of combos with it. Like I have no other really way to bring down the big stuff. Like,
Well-
that's my only argument back to it.
That's true. That's true.
That needs a big FAQ.
Yeah, I just can't believe 20, 25, 26 wounds
Yeah.
in one psychic phase.
And no response.
No response.
No chance
exactly.
to interact.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to make a clip of this,
All right.
and we're going to post it all over the internet so GW will
Good.
be able to see it.
GW, pay attention.
Yeah, and then we're going to say Nick Rose broke the game.
Yeah.
This has already happened multiple times.
I'm going to fix this real quick. Let me just fix this. But, Nick, going into this game, what were your thoughts?
I was gonna lose early on and hopefully pull ahead. That was the only thought, and I made some mistakes.
Did you need this to go to turn
What
6?
mistakes do you think you made?
My deployment, I just forgot. I thought we were in search and destroy. Really, I just was
Why
like,
do you think we drew the diagonal
I know, right?
lines?
And so I screwed up the behind enemy line piece. My Kelomorph, I should have killed the commander.
Yeah, I'd be
over
curious
there.
to see what Andrew might have
Right,
done
that was
differently
two.
now that
Should've
he's
gone
saw
for
this
him.
split.
Yeah, and I was trying to move too fast.
You were flying.
Yeah, and then the other pieces, I couldn't really get the bikes down. I felt like I should have just brought them both in, but I really couldn't hit the castling.
I screened pretty well.
Yeah. And my thought was I probably should have brought the Kelomorphs both in to just blow the conscript lines quicker, then do that. I got on my turn too, but it was just hard to get bodies in front. And I was
Right.
trying to get the Avenger.
That's why I have a 30 fearless guys standing out front.
Yeah. And then the other bonehead move of me was making sure that that guy was 36 inches in for the Avenger Gatling gun. Because I should have had 10 more guardsmen. So, those are the 3 big mistakes that I made, and it cost me.
Well, honestly, if I don't come out with my knights when I did, you're going to come in on me anyway. You're going to be coming in. So I had to try to get the battle out there.
Well, another thing that threw me off was he got engineers. I was expecting engineers by turn 2. So when it was turn 1, I was like, what? Huh?
Yeah, that's specific to this packet.
Yeah, so that threw me off. Because then I was like, okay, that changed my whole game plan in the back of my mind.
That's the reason I chose it.
Yeah, I would have chosen engineers. I'd be like, all right, Rand.
Oh, you would have had it every time.
Yeah, I would have put the mortars and been done with this. And then I would have gone out there, and that's why I said the Kelomorph. I was like, I'm being reactive because I'm just off the game.
I'm trying to think if my target priority could have been any better, but I don't think so.
No, I just jammed with bodies as much as possible.
I killed a lot of bodies.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't get to that second jackal unit because you hit it behind the...
I was hoping to get that jackal unit. If I wasn't going to kill the gallant, I was going to bring the demo charges around and blow up the gallant.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to.
You killed it, yeah.
Yeah, it was impressive with the mining lasers and all the firepower you had to kill that gallant in just one round.
Well, now,
Patriarch.
now the question is, should I have gone the invulnerable in hand-to-hand?
Yes.
And then I could have rotated it for a 4.
That's what I would have saved the Beck for.
Yeah, you would.
I was more worried about the gallant.
Well, hadn't you already used the Beck by then?
Correct, but I would have saved the Beck for
You
something
would have saved
else.
it for that.
Because I know, I did a lot of damage to that guy. I know I wasn't going to kill him. I was just going to piecemeal him down.
Yeah.
Then next turn, I can go murder him.
Yeah.
Then I want to switch, nail the other guy.
Yeah.
And then been okay with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because then I would have reversed.
Okay.
But that's the only thing.
That's cool. Well, hey guys,
Well, it was a very tactical game.
we appreciate you guys being on the stream. Congratulations, Nick.
Thanks. Thanks again.
Thank
It's
you,
nice
Andrew,
to play
for
you
being here.
finally.
Nice to, yeah. We've seen each other a lot, but never played.
Okay, guys, we're going to close up coverage of the Dallas Open. We appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more information on other events that we're going to cover. I think we'll definitely do more things here in the future. So, guys, our shoutcasters, Steven and Mike, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I was gonna ask real quick if the table 2 game was done and if the Eldar or one of the players scored like 32 or more. If they're not done, then people can just check
It doesn't.
on
I
pairings
think
later.
they're done. Let's see. Let me see if I can get an update.
Yeah, so real quick, I just want to, give a shout out to these players, two class players, very good competitively. It's awesome to see these guys be able to finish the game and immediately already recognize the mistakes they made, what they would have done differently. You can definitely tell they have a lot of thought process going into games like this. And hopefully some of you guys in the chat will attend some of these events in the future and be able to catch up with these guys, maybe see them across the table. And we appreciate everyone's comments, questions, and some of the banter that we've had throughout the stream today. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Cool, and I was able to verify that that game did end, so we will definitely be able to see who won. Yep. So we had Nick Rose had 5,167 points in this last game. Matthew Alley with his 1,000 Suns, 5,169. So Nick just lost to get second place.
Wow.
By 3 battle points. 3 battle points. Oh my god.
My
that is
prediction was
super close.
half right.
Yeah. But screw you, Eldar. You didn't win. I'm a pretty happy camper. So, anyway, as we close this out, again, I just want to thank all our viewers for watching and hanging out with us this Sunday evening. It was a fun time. We can't do this without you. Be sure to catch us next time, hopefully, at the Midwest Conquest in Kansas City. And so, again, appreciate you guys for watching. And as always, dice safely.